Evening, people. How we doing this evening, this Friday evening? Good to see everybody. I see Hanging AZ is already with us, as well as V for Veritas. Awesome. Looks like we got 4 watching a race. That's great. So as I mentioned, this evening we're going to go over just... V for Veritas. Awesome. Oh, got some feedback there. Okay. Sorry about that. Going to go over some bottle finds for this week. And also let you guys know what's coming up on the channel, and then just chat. Yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and get into the bottle finds. Hanging AZ, you'll be happy about this one. Got a bottle of Old Grandad Bottle and Bond. That will be a review here pretty soon. Also, another viewer had suggested that I throw in Russell's 10-year in the $30 showdown, so that will be in there. And then I realized I had not done a Four Roses review of any kind yet. So this is kind of the $30-ish Four Roses, small batch. So got that. And then this find I was pretty excited about, and that is the Maker's Mark FAE-02. And we'll be sipping on that a little bit later as well. So I found all those this week. So good stuff. Oh, okay. So that is definitely a good price. I paid almost 25. I think it ended up being about 24 with tax. But I mean, still not bad. And I like it. So thank you, Hanging AZ, for the suggestion. I've had it, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't remember being impressed, and I just kind of forgot about it and just didn't pick up another one until this week. It reminds me a lot of Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, which kind of makes sense because, you know, a member of the Jim Beam family went over to Heaven Hill, and that became their head distiller. So, and I guess you kind of see those comparisons in many Jim Beam and Heaven Hill products, but I actually think that Old Grandad Bib is better. So we'll have to do a comparison in a kind of a review style sometime soon. But yeah, that review will be coming soon. But actually, I just realized I did not grab myself a whiskey glass, so you'll have to give me 1 second. But I think we're going to start the night with this Four Roses here. Excuse me 1 second. Someday I'll be a professional. Anyway, let's pause for cork pop here. All right, let's get into this Four Roses small batch. So it is 90 proof, not super high proof. In the past, I have not been a huge fan of Four Roses, but I thought I would give them another try. We'll see how it goes. Adam, what's up, man? How we doing? What are you up to tonight? See, OGD 114 is only 2025 in Arizona. Man, that is a great deal. If I could find OGD 114 for 20 bucks, that would be all I ever drank. I mean, as far as like my daily, anyway. See, I got Evan Williams Bib from Total Wine. I like it. Cool. Yeah, I would say the difference in profile between Evan Williams Bib and Old Grandad Bib is that Old Grandad has a little more heat to me. I mean, not terribly, but it does drink a little hotter. And also, there's quite a bit more cinnamon in it, which is fine. I don't mind some cinnamon. So kind of a nice change up. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. Still have not tasted any Four Roses. Well, let's get into this one. I have tasted a few. I've had the single barrel. I've had just the standard kind of budget Four Roses. Adam can tell you all about how much he loves Four Roses. So now we're going to try this. To me, it's always kind of sour. Too much sourness for me. But the nose is nice. Now, of course, there's going to be a review coming, so I'm not going to do like a full review but you know, kind of standard bourbon notes. Let's get our first sip here. So World Series, okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't kept up with it at all, but I've heard it's been that both teams are playing well, kind of a good fight back and forth. So that's always cool. It keeps any sports interesting. It's hard for me to sit and watch baseball. I know that's un-American of me, but it's too long and tedious. Can't do it. I guess my ADD or whatever the case. I don't like Evan Williams better than Wild Turkey, but okay. I got you. Yeah, I would agree with that. So the thing is, around here, Evan Williams bib is about, I mean, it depends on the store, but sometimes it's almost $10 cheaper than Wild Turkey 101. So it's my super budget friendly go-to. But yeah, I would agree. I think the Wild Turkey is a better product for sure. But you know, you are paying $10 more, so it should be a little bit better. But I do like Evan Williams, and I love me some Wild Turkey. Always love me some Wild Turkey. I don't, as we were talking about last stream, I don't think that Wild Turkey makes a bad product. I think that everything they put out has its place. Different profiles, kind of different purposes. There's some that are more chill, easy to relax with, and some are spicier, more punchy. But just depending on your mood, I think Wild Turkey has something for about any mood. And yes, the bottle of Four Roses that Adam has, I would agree. So we were this was last basketball season during the finals. That's around the time he got that Four Roses, and so we were sipping on that one night while watching the game, and both agreed it was super sour and just unpleasant. It was not pleasant to drink. Not the worst thing I've ever had, but I wouldn't buy it again. Well, I didn't buy it the first time. Thank you, Adam, for the free samples. Yeah, I don't watch regular season. I like the postseason. Yeah, I'm kind of. Yeah, you're gonna have to get me into it. I don't know. I can't sit through. I mean, I guess baseball has gotten a little more action packed, I guess you would say, in recent years. I guess the scores are going up and stuff, but so that helps. But I don't know. It's hard for me to get into it. This Four Roses isn't bad. Four Roses small batch. I don't think it's going to be my favorite in the $30 showdown, though. I can tell you that. We'll have to see, though. Maybe it'll open up and get better. But so far, just kind of okay. Nothing real special. Actually, I kind of feel like the Old Granddad Bottle and Bond is probably better. That's probably what I'll pour next. We'll see. Was the Total Wines and Tried Chestnut Farms bib from the tasting lady with both redemptions as well. I don't know what that. I'm not real familiar with Chestnut Farms, so I guess redemptions is different versions. Anyway, Chestnut bib was delicious, but 100. Okay, wow, yeah. So it better be. Yeah, for $100, it better be awesome. Yeah, especially when you consider that there's so many things that are sub 100 that are great. So, question, Hang AZ, do you think it's worth 100? That's the question. Did it taste like it was $100? 101 is about 16 at Wally World here. Man, that is great. I feel like I need to travel to Arizona just to buy a bunch of budget whiskeys and stock up. I mean, that would save me like $10 a bottle, and about the same on Old Granddad 114. That's about $10 cheaper than it is here. Old Granddad around here is almost always $29.99, And Wild Turkey at Kroger, which is usually the cheapest, is like $24.99 for a 750. 18. Oh, okay. I see. Well, still 18 for Wild Turkey 101 is great. I would pay that all day long. I wish we had those prices around here. I don't understand how you can distribute a product out of state and it be cheaper than the state that it's made in. I don't know how any company does that, but I see it all the time. People are always telling me how cheap stuff is in other states. I don't know. The world's weird. I'll give you the whole bottle of Four Roses. Yeah, I just need, so Adam let me use just the standard Four Roses bottle for a review, like, I don't know, like a month ago. And that's when I was having camera problems and the audio didn't get recorded, and it was just a mess that day. Which is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the video and audio lately has been a little bit different, and that's been because I've been shooting on my wife's phone. I guess I mentioned that in a previous stream, but yeah, so it kind of sucks right now, but doing what I can with what I got. Planning on getting a new camera here soon, about a month. We should have a new camera, and then hopefully the quality will be better than ever. That's the goal. And especially the audio. I'm not real happy with the audio right now. I'm doing the best I can on my end to edit it and make it sound as good as I can for you guys, but I'm personally not the happiest with it. I think it's coming out okay, but I would like it to sound much better. Redemption is another bourbon. They also make, oh, okay. So I got you. Okay, so this is not like a part of the Chestnut Farms line. I see now. So what did you think about the Redemptions? Hang on, AZ, compared to the Chestnut Farm $100 bottle. Where's the my rare breed was 52. Heard they were 45 in other states. Yeah, they are. I almost it. So at Kroger, that's always the cheapest place to buy stuff around here. Rare breed is $45 all day long, every day. And sometimes Kroger will have coupons, and then you get a few dollars off that. So yeah, that's why I always have a couple bottles of Rare Breed, because it's awesome. Everyone should have a bottle of Rare Breed. If you don't, go buy one. I think people overlook it way too much when they're searching for blends and Weller and other bull crap. Just buy Rare Breed. It's always awesome. Never had a bad bottle. I'm on like my third or fourth now. It just kicks butt. Let's see. Arizona liquor tax must be lower. Well, I'm sure that's true. So the thing is there's so many counties in Kentucky that have recently went wet, and the way that they convinced people to go wet was by taxing the crap out of it. So like here in Wayne County, where I am, the liquor tax is crazy. I think it's something like, so like on a $25 bottle, you could pay $3 and $4 in taxes on that bottle. So yeah, so that's always fun. And the higher, of course, the higher the price, the more the taxes are. It's a pretty large percentage though. It's much, so, I moved from Florida, and it's much, much higher than the taxes on liquor in Florida. It's like 2 or 3 times what that is. Okay, so Redemption Bourbon was like larceny or bullet to my palate. Okay. I'm curious if Redemption is actually making their own stuff. I don't know anything about them. I'll have to check them out. Next time I'm in a store, read the back of the bottle and see what they got going on. If they're actually doing their own stuff or if they're just sourcing it and marking it up. Hard to say these days. There's so many people sourcing that you never know. You never know where it's actually coming from. Adam, I got to work in Alabama next week. Gonna look around down there. Sounds like a plan, man. Yeah, I wish I got to travel as much as Adam does. He gets to see a lot of the country. Buddy, what are you doing? The dog is making all kinds of sounds over there. I think he's desperate for attention again. Yeah, so Adam has got to find quite a few cool bottles. Hey, what's up? Still living in the woods? Yeah, I appreciate your comment. What was that on Redwood Empire? You know, let me go ahead and highlight you, and then we'll go back to AMAC. Everything from Redemption is sourced from MGP. Yeah, I would say that's probably true of like half of the new bottles that are on the shelf right now. If you see a new bottle and you've never seen the name before, it's probably MGP juice, just in a different label, which is getting annoying. I like MGP. It's just that, you know, I don't know. I would rather just MGP do their thing with their bourbon. I think they do a better job with it. I think we should just leave it in their hands, and we don't need 1,000 different bourbon brands. So I think we need to stop this madness, all this sourcing. I don't know. I'm probably in the minority in that think, but that's my personal take on it. Let's stop sourcing everything. Let's stop sourcing everything out. Let's see. Total Wine seems to really hawk the Chestnut Farms. Yeah. Well, so it seems like there's a lot of brands like that Total Wines really seems to back. And I would not doubt if you're right, AC. They probably do have some kind of stock or some kind of incentive to sell certain bottles. I would not doubt that at all. Does all MGP come from Indiana? Yes, MGP is in Indiana. So, and I would guess, it changes all the time, but I would guess they are the biggest sourced whiskey source right now. It goes back and forth between Jim Beam used to be really big. I guess they still are. I know Chicken Cock I'm pretty sure that's Jim Beam stuff. And there's several other kind of newer brands that are actually just Jim Beam disguised. Of course, Dickel is sourcing out a lot of stuff. And there's a few others, but I'd say those are the big ones. See here, Mike M44. Thank you for joining us, buddy. Finally got to buy a bottle of Buffalo Trace. Was shocked to see it on the shelf at ABC store in Virginia. Okay, so I didn't realize that was that hard to find in Virginia. That's something. Yeah, around here, I mean they're starting to go up in price a little bit, but they're still readily available here in Southern Kentucky. There are parts of Kentucky where that's not true, and some parts of Kentucky it's becoming allocated, which is annoying. Never thought I'd see the day where Buffalo Trace would be so sought after that it was allocated and you can only get one bottle at a time, but that is becoming the situation. So yeah, annoying. So how do you like it though, Mike M44? How do you liking your Buffalo Trace? And I apologize for the squeaking, folks. The dog is being very annoying. He just went for a walk, but he needs more attention. And I'm the only one in the house right now, so he wants Dad's attention. I was looking for Evan Williams, and she tried to sell me $100. Yeah, right. That's Total Wine for you. Yeah, I usually just take my sample and walk away, unless you're like the only one getting samples at the time, and then it's kind of hard to do that. But there's usually 2 or 3 people standing around, so I usually just take my sample and then walk over to the bourbon section and start doing my shopping. You can find Eagle Rare there? If so, we can trade. Yeah, Eagle Rare. That's one of those bottles that I really searched for early on when I really started getting serious about collecting whiskey. And now it's like, I think it's a bottle everybody should try, but I don't know. Too much water for me. If they were like 100 proof, I think it'd be great, but it's not. It's 90. Rare Eagle is very rare. Got one last week. No trade, sorry. Yeah, I would say Eagle Rare is pretty much rare everywhere. Kind of another annoying bottle that's lots of hype, and so yeah, I don't know. enjoyed the sample. The sample, you're talking about the sample of Redemption? Oh, the bib. Okay, yeah, gotcha. So I asked earlier, AZ, do you think it was worth $100 though? The Chestnut Farms. If you had the $100 to spend, do you think it was worth $100? And then paid $32 for Eagle Rare. Only good thing about ABC stores, sell it. Yes, true. You know, I wish that we had that. Well, actually, so Mike, is Virginia, is that state controlled pricing? Is that across the state, or is it just like ABC stores? Because I mean, so here, like Kroger and Walmart, we get the same kind of situation. They always sell at MSRP, but Kentucky is definitely not state controlled because there are some crazy prices at other stores. So, yeah. Usually I buy everything I can at Kroger or Walmart, and then the rare stuff I have to go elsewhere and hope I find a store owner that isn't a complete jerk. So folks that have joined late, just so you know, right now sipping on some Four Roses small batch. This is the bottle I picked up this week for the kind of $30 showdown. So far, it's okay. I don't know if it's my favorite in the $30 range. Probably not, but it's all right. Let's see here. Oh, AZ, you're talking about Eagle Rare, I assume. Went down on the secondary here, only 65 now. It was worth 50. Yeah, it's worth 30. Maybe. It's worth 30 on a good day if you get a good bottle and it doesn't taste like grape soda. Well, that's the flavor profile that some have that I don't like anyway. Secondary in DC area is insane. Much higher prices here in DC. And okay, so not state controlled then, I guess. Now, when you say secondary, do you mean like Facebook groups and local groups, or do you mean stores that are not like ABC, Walmart? AZ, I can get Buffalo Trace for 20 to 25. Would trade 2 for 1. AZ, we might have to talk offline. I might be able to get you a sample so you can try it. I think you might change your mind on how much you want to chase it after that. I think it runs by, yeah, probably. I tell you, it feels like it. It feels like bourbon is getting to the point where gangs and mafiosos will start running things, and no one will ever be able to get what they want. And you know, you'll have to like pay some mob boss off to get a bottle of Blanton's or something. It feels like that's where we're headed. I hope not, but you know. It's nothing is improving. I know that. Buddy, no. The dog is being really annoying. Yes, you are. So I'm going to bring him up here and show him off because he's a big jerk. Here's my boy, for those that don't know. This is the punk that's making all the noise. He's my buddy. He's my buddy. But he's interrupting Daddy's live stream. So you need to go back down. Go sleep. We get the Indiana price about triple the price. Yeah. Yeah. Some things are just insane here in Kentucky. That's what's crazy. It's like people always think because I run a whiskey channel, I live in Kentucky, that I'm just finding all these amazing bottles and it's so easy to find here. You know, and I can just walk into any store and pick up the bottles I want. And that could not be farther from the truth. I swear. It's really annoying. There are some bottles that I still have yet to even see. For instance, I have never seen, well, except for in just, well, there's one place. Justin's House of Bourbon has everything. if you're willing to pay just stupid high prices, like prices that are so insane that you would just have to like be like if you're like selling cocaine or heroin or something and you have like that kind of money flow, then maybe Justin's House of Bourbon is for you. But so otherwise, you're never going to see bottles like any of the kind of higher end E.H. Taylor stuff, not the small batch. You'll see that around sometimes, but anything other than that, not going to see it. Any of the harder to find Weller stuff like full proofs, barrel proof, CYPB, never going to see them ever. Weller 12, not going to see it. Blends, you will very, very occasionally see here in Kentucky. A lot of the Kentucky Owl stuff, the higher end Kentucky Owl, is very hard to find. I could go on and on, but anyway, you guys get the point. It's annoying everywhere. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm drinking it. Sorry, never had it. So yeah, on the Eagle Rare, I get that. You know, I mean, everybody should have at least one bottle of each thing, just so you can say you've had it, and so you can share with your friends, and so they can say they've had it and all that. And also, I just want to say we got 7 people watching, which is I think a new high. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining. But yeah, I wish that the bourbon world wasn't the way it is right now. It's really annoying for everybody. So I feel you, everybody that's searching for bottles. It sucks. Chestnut Farms bib was worth 50. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Is I wonder where Chestnut Farms, I wonder if they're doing their own thing, if they're actually distilling their own juice and then bottling, doing the aging, bottling, all that stuff on their own grounds, or if it's sourced, because there's so many companies now that are sourced that it could be somebody else's stuff. It could just be more MGP, or it could be Jim Beam with another label thrown on it. Who knows? Okay. Now, Mike, are you saying you would take that over Eagle Rare, or do you mean just like in general, instead of searching for the harder to find bottles? Yeah, and that's about right, AZ. The Tater Mafia has taken over the bourbon world, and they're just hoarding it in their basements or wherever taters hoard whiskey. I mean, I'm sure if you guys have been on Facebook, then you've seen the pictures. I mean, I've seen pictures of just cabinets that are, like 12 feet wide by all the way to the ceiling, just full of Weller, just nothing but Weller. And they're all closed. They're just, hundreds of closed bottles. And I guess, whatever, if you're looking at it as an investment, then, I don't know, fine, I guess. It seems like that's a really crappy way to be, to just hoard it all and then no one else can enjoy it. But whatever. Swimming in bourbon. Yeah, right. Sure I am. I mean, I do own a lot, but it's taken a long time to find some of the harder to find bottles. It's taken hours and hours and days of searching. Adam can tell you, he went with me one day on some bourbon hunting. We hunted all day in Lexington, and we found a couple things, but I mean, most of the time you come up empty-handed. Basically, you just have to be there when the truck shows up. And, unless you know the schedule and you know the drivers, because especially here recently since COVID, they don't even show up the same day all the time. So it's really frustrating to find bottles. Ocha Higher, boom. Not sure we're booing, but sure. Still live in the woods. One of the liquor stores I go to is holding on to everything that is hard to find until after Thanksgiving. I see. So then they can just go, Christmas present prices on everything, I'm sure. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Honestly, like when I see stores that do that, because there's some around here. There's some around here that just, we call them, whiskey museums. They just put crazy high prices on stuff just to, say that they got the stuff. yeah, I don't shop there. I won't go there anymore. You know, I frequented there a few times when I first started really searching for stuff, and I'll still pop in just in case, you know, the management has decided to be reasonable. But yeah, when I see stores charging, you know, 3, 4, 5 times what SRP is, I just don't shop there. You're not going to get any of my money if that's the way you're going to do business. That's my personal thought. Yeah. According to Google, Chestnut Farms is Sazerac. Okay, so then it's probably just Buffalo Trace stuff, and with a new label thrown on it. So, yeah, they are big, and Sazerac is a money-making machine. So, oh, you saying, yeah, Justin's House of Bourbon. What a waste, for real. The thing is, so their rare stuff is high, and then even their stuff that isn't rare is high. So, unless you just have a ton of money to spend, I don't know any reason to go there. Unless you're like after a really special bottle and you're willing to just pay out the nose for it, I would never buy anything there. They only charge retail though. That's what's, oh, okay. So does that store like work on a point system? That's something that a lot of stores around here are starting to do. Is it like if you're a frequent customer, then you get points built up, and then you can use those points to, you know, buy special bottles, lay it behind the counter. And I wish that more stores would go to that, because then people that are really whiskey fans and that are, you know, buying whiskey often would benefit, instead of just, you know, the tater kind that just come in asking for Blanton's every week but never buy anything else but Blanton's. Yeah. And then they just store all their Blantons and Weller in their basement and never drink any of it. I wish that more stores would go to some kind of a point system. It would benefit those that are actually drinking bourbon. I hope. Time will tell. We'll see how that actually plays out. Oh, okay. Boom. It's just saying. Okay, well, cool. So OJ for hire. First off, if you mean like the juice, that OJ, then that is a great name. Love it. Still, Norm Macdonald, toast Norm Macdonald. Some of the best OJ jokes ever. Miss that guy. Also OJ for hire. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. I didn't say that earlier, but appreciate it. Glad you're with us. So let me finish this Four Roses. I gotta say, as I'm getting farther down the glass, I'm starting to enjoy it less. It's not growing on me. I know that. Any Four Roses fans out there? What are your thoughts on the Four Roses? Those that have tried it, this is not doing much for me. It's slightly better than the standard Four Roses, but still just kind of meh. It's all right. Yes, the juice, baby. Yes, thank you, AZ. Yeah, hit that like button. We appreciate that very much. Everybody hit that like button. That helps the channel, helps more people see it. We love when that happens. So, yeah, if you guys are enjoying this, and please hit the like. Hope you're all doing great tonight. Loving to see new faces in the stream. Very much appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me rehash for those that kind of joined a little bit late. So Hanging AZ had suggested I review this because I had not yet. So that will be coming up soon. And actually, I hadn't tried this in a long time, like a couple of years. So thank you, AZ, for the recommend. I am enjoying that bottle. It is a budget bottle, but it's a good one. And then, as I said, that's what I was drinking for as a small batch. I'd say it's okay, not phenomenal. This is the next guy we're going to break out here. Another subscriber suggested we do this in our $30-ish Whiskey Showdown. So that will be coming up. And in fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and open that right now and get some of that Russell's poured. I know it will be better than that Four Roses I had. Pause for cork pop. All right. Let me make sure my glass is clean here. Give the glass a rinse. And then real quick, Adam, to answer the rest of your questions, I also found this Maker's Mark, focus camera, Maker's Mark FAE-02 this week. And I got it at SRP. So that was awesome. So far, the Maker's Mark FAE-02 is good. Just a lot of people talked it up online, so I was expecting a little more, but maybe the bottle will open up and get better. But for now, let's get this Russell's poured. Oh, I'm spilling. All right, here we go. And I got some all over my counter. No problem. And guys, maybe you caught it. So today, the Larceny review came out, which, by the way, go watch it. Not like right this second, but later. Which is this guy right here, the B521, which is an awesome bottle. Love it so far. But fans of the channel know that typically my reviews come out Wednesday and Saturday. And I started the upload this morning, and I forgot to schedule it. So it just went live once it was done uploading, which is why it came out at like 3 p.m. today, which was not ideal. It's like middle of the day, but appreciate everyone that's watched it already. Thank you. Let's get into this Russell's 10 though. So now I've had this bottle before, but it's been a while. It's been about 3 or 4 months since I've had a Russell's 10 in my collection. So you know it's Wild Turkey right away. I know that. And thank you, OJ for Hire, for smashing that like button. Appreciate it, buddy. I like the Russell's 10. Yes, it is a good one for sure. Wild Turkey for the win. Yes. I'm telling you, man, Wild Turkey does not put out bad products. They just don't know how to do it. Jimmy over there. Jimmy, what's his son? The son. Eddie? Let me look at this. How am I not? Yeah, okay. Jimmy and Eddie, yeah. Those guys make killer bottles. People do not talk about Wild Turkey nearly enough. I know there's a lot of diehard Wild Turkey fans, but you know, when I see like 3, 4, 5 Buffalo Trace posts in a row, like on a Facebook or Reddit page, I just feel depressed because I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're missing out on. And, you know, and Buffalo Trace is good. It's just don't pass up on the Wild Turkey. All right, Adam. I'll head right over there right now. I'll just stay live. Let me walk this over to Adam. No, yeah, I'll get it over to you. I think you might like it. Got a little bit of cinnamon spice. Now, this is, I mean, for turkey, this is on the lighter side. I think we can all agree on that because it is 90 proof. So kind of a lighter palate. But if you're in the mood for something a little more chill, I think it's good. Not nearly as sour as that Four Roses I just had. The Four Roses, I don't know. Maybe the Four Roses will grow on me. I keep hoping. We'll see. Or it will finish dead last in our $30-ish showdown. Probably that second one. Let's see. Those Turkey boys are good folks. They sure are, man. I still hope to. My goal, if I can get over there before, while Jimmy's still alive, which, you know, I know they've kind of really pulled back him being around the public because of COVID, which is understandable but sucks. But I would love to buy a rare breed on site and have Jimmy sign it, and then that bottle will never get opened. That will be the one bottle of whiskey that stays closed in my collection. But that is a life goal. So hopefully here in the near future I can get that done. And if so, you guys will hear about it. I will definitely be making a video about that if that ever happens. So, training wheels turkey, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what Russell's 10 is. It is light, and I mean, for me, you know, everybody has their palate preference. But for me, I feel like around 100 proof is where I really start enjoying bourbon. You know, the lighter ones they're good. They have their place. To be fair, I need to be up kind of early tomorrow, so maybe having some lower proof whiskey is good. But generally, I like 100 proof plus. That's just kind of me. And hit the gift shop. He signs bottles. Yeah, I've heard that many times. I just haven't had a chance to get over there. So, you know, me and the wife, we moved up here. It will be, well, actually, what's today? Today is the 29th. Yeah, so we moved up here 2 years ago, October 31st. We were driving on Halloween 2 years ago to Kentucky. And then, of course, everything shut down in like March of the following year. And, you know, things are slowly opening back up now, but, you know, we all know how the COVID crap is going. It's annoying. But I'm hoping to start doing my rounds at the distilleries. I know they're kind of cutting back on some of the restrictions and stuff, so I hope that continues. I know we want to be safe and all that stuff, but I'm hoping we can get some good tours in here soon. And I'm going to try and record as much of that as possible to get that content on the channel. Try and, you know, reduce it down so it's watchable amounts of time. But yeah, several distilleries that I want to get to here in the next few months. I like lighter whiskey on the rocks. Yeah, summertime. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it fills that role really good. Yeah, lighter whiskey is great in the summer, especially after long, hot days. I don't know what everybody does for work, but I work outside pretty often. About half the time I'm outside. And when you're sweating all day, coming home and sipping on a barrel proof neat can be kind of rough. So having a little bit lighter whiskey definitely fills that role better. Yes, that is the plan. So I got some stuff to do in the morning, and then midday, if weather permits, going to try and hit the target a little bit with the bow, make sure I am dialed in, and then tomorrow evening, hopefully get lucky and a deer walks in front of me. We'll see what happens. Put the arrows to use finally. Hopefully they are kind enough to come close so I can give them a hug. Get some meat in the freezer. Anyway. So guys, now that we're kind of into the night here, and everybody's kind of here and stuff. So stuff we got come up on the channel. So Larceny Barrel Proof came out today early, so I hope everybody's enjoying that. This guy that I mentioned earlier, this review will be coming out soon. Originally, I had Maker's 46 planned for next Saturday, but I think I'm going to push that back again because this is kind of a limited release, seasonal kind of deal. I think I'm going to get this one out by next Saturday. That's the plan anyway. And then if I have time, I'm also going to shoot this, and either this will be Wednesday or the following Wednesday, one of the two. Old Granddad Bib will be either this Wednesday or next. And then this Wednesday, if it isn't Old Granddad Bib, then I'm thinking it will be Fireball. And I'm not going to say anything about it, but we all know that it's only kind of whiskey. But anyway, what is everybody else up to tonight? How are we doing? What are some things that are on your mind? Let's get philosophical and start solving world problems. Since we got Adam here, what are your thoughts, man? So LeBron sat out 2 games because of ankle injury, and then Westbrook took off and started doing great. I mean, his last game was fantastic. He was like 35 15 and 17. I don't know. I'm terrible at remembering numbers, but a very solid triple-double. So good to see Westbrook doing well. Bad that LeBron is injured again. But I'm curious how that dynamic is going to work out long term, because it feels like LeBron does great without Westbrook, and Westbrook does great without LeBron. So curious to see if they can. I don't know how that dynamic. Feel like they're both court generals and they're both good at that. So I don't know how they can coexist on the court at the same time. Well, so that's the thing, Adam, is that's always been the Westbrook problem, is that he shoots bad, which ends the turnovers, and then he actually turns the ball over. So I don't know. Yeah, well, so I think you're right. I think what the Lakers need to do, I just don't think Westbrook's going to want to do it, is Westbrook and LeBron need to rotate out. And each one of them run the team when the other one's not on the floor. But, yeah. Let's see here. Check out SLB Drinks on. We just did a bib shout out. Okay, so all right. So that's another YouTube channel. I take it. Just did a bib shout out. Okay, OGD was on. Cool. Good stuff. I will have to remember that. Yeah, okay, got all that. They are trying to cancel the Suns. Yeah, maybe. So I keep hoping that CP3 will get a ring, but, I don't know. It's just, how long is going to happen for the guy? It's just things keep coming up. I mean, last year was the year, for sure. Last year was their year, and then Giannis came along and just was devastating in the postseason. I mean, I don't think anybody could have stopped him. He was a monster. But anyway, what's bothering folks in the news this week? So this isn't really this week news, but it's just kind of everybody's talking about it. Joe Rogan being accused of taking horse drugs. CNN just continues to amaze with their terrible, terrible journalism. And then, doubling down on the Joe Rogan thing, and then he just calls them idiots, basically, for not going to use the real words that he used. But Joe Rogan was right. He's just like, nope, not doing that. You're not. And then, let's see, what else happened? Oh, yeah, so then they got the whole Alec Baldwin thing. That's continuing. Gun safety is important, folks. Learn how to use guns properly. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not going to dig in deep on that. What else we got? I mean, there's always, transgender arguments and racism and whatever other nonsense we got going on. But more importantly, what bottles are we finding, guys? What bottles have we picked up recently? What are we drinking tonight? All that stuff. Let's talk about something fun rather than all the terribleness in the world. Because there's plenty of that. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I saw that news story about an hour before I went live. Yeah, Biden to pay illegal aliens $450,000 in reparations. You gotta just laugh. You gotta just laugh at the level of stupid, because just how can you justify that? Buddy, you need to stop crying. If you guys can hear the dog crying, I apologize. He's just begging for attention. Yeah, so I don't know what's wrong with the puppy, huh? I know you want the ball, but you make too much noise. Go get it. Seen a bottle of, I'm guessing you mean Knob Creek, and 25 anniversary for only $7.99. Okay. Yeah. I have no idea what the value on that is, but that seems high. I can't imagine. So here's my thing. Unless it's like Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, I cannot see paying $800 for a bottle. And even Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, it would have to be William LaRue Weller or George T. Stagg. And even then, man, $800. I don't know. But Knob Creek, 25 anniversary, yeah, probably not. Probably not going to get the $800. Got my first rare breed, so good. Yes. That is a great, great bottle. And so I guess I got a little political there. We lost half our viewers. Come on, folks. I know we don't like politics. It's okay, though. Things will get better eventually. Probably not. Got Elijah Craig C921. Well, good for you, man. That is a find. I haven't even seen those around here yet. Not even seeing them yet. I was happy to get this Larceny B521 because those were just kind of popping up here recently. I don't understand that. I don't understand how it's made here and yet. So where are you at, OJ for Hire? Just curious. Not like your exact address, but what state are you in? Curious where they're showing up at. Because here in Kentucky, have yet to see a one. Yeah, exactly. Hanging AZ. Yeah, get 3 more jobs so we can buy $800 whiskey. I'm telling you, man. You know, so for those of you that don't know, I'm just a regular guy, and everybody says that, but I actually am. Like, I work in construction. I'm not like on some kind of crazy baller budget. I just try and keep my bills low so I can buy whiskey. And me and my wife have been pretty successful at that. We keep our bills to a minimum, and that's what allows me to have my whiskey collection. But I am not, you know, I'm not pulling in like 6 figures or anything like that. Just a regular dude that just loves whiskey more than most things on this planet. 116.8%. Oh, the rare breed. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yes. Yeah, they're always around that, and I think that is a good proof. Really good, not quite barrel proof, but very, very close to it. And man, rare breed is just, that is such a killer bottle. Cannot talk about it enough. People need to get on the rare breed train. That is a amazing bottle. And I love that Wild Turkey is putting it out for $45. $100 is my limit. So Still Living in the Woods, that used to be kind of mine as well. And then I went and bought a $200 bottle. Now, this is finished bourbon. I know some people they get into their feelings about finished bourbon, but I bought a $200 bottle of Bardstown Five Private XO. It was a distillery only release, and I loved that bottle. It was $200, and I would do it again. I know that's not always true, though. That's the thing, is that you kind of have to. Now, granted, I was able to have a sample at the distillery before I bought it, and that's what convinced me. But otherwise, I would probably be with you that $100 is kind of my limit, unless you get to try it and see how amazing it is. Proof even. Not sure what you meant there, AZ. Are you my cousin? For real. I think a lot of us whiskey collectors kind of have that similar rule, because there's so much good stuff that's sub 100. So it's hard to justify spending over 100 on a bottle when there's tons, dozens and dozens of great bottles that are sub 100. Nope, clicked it twice. Picked up in Kansas last Friday. Gotta scroll back here. Oh, okay. Lodge Craig C921, right. Okay, so that's interesting. So Kansas has it, but not Kentucky. How about that? That's some crap right there. Again, I don't understand distributing rules. Makes no sense to me. Oh, okay. LGD 114 does drink hot. Had to step it up. Yes. That's one thing that you do have to say is that Rare Breed is like a kick in the teeth. It's like a really delicious kick in the teeth, though. But you know for sure you're drinking whiskey. There's no doubt about the level of whiskey. That is a manly whiskey, if there is such a thing. Rare Breed is no joke, but it's awesome. I finished most. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my empty bottle collection that my wife hates will show off how many bourbons I've finished. I keep one bottle of everything I've ever finished. And I guess that's some kind of weird obsessive compulsive OCD or something, but I have to have at least one bottle of everything I've ever drank. Yes, significant others do not appreciate our bourbon needs. I keep trying, but you're getting really annoying. I'm going to take the ball again because you're bad. Sorry, folks, for all the squeaking. The dog really wants to be part of the stream tonight. But yeah, I keep trying to convince my wife that one day this channel will maybe make some money. Maybe I'll even break even. And then I feel like it'll be easier to convince her that this is a good idea. But until then, it's, just spending way too much on a whiskey, which I enjoy. And so I think the best thing you can do is try to get your partner into drinking whiskey. My wife is coming around to it, but, she's a girl. So, and ladies, if there's any ladies watching, I know that women drink whiskey. It's just usually not their thing. And that's okay. We love you guys for being feminine and gentle and all those great things. That's why we hang out with you. So nothing wrong with that. But she is coming around to whiskey. She's starting to enjoy some. She likes this guy right here, and she likes the Black Label, and she does like some Weller. Find a woman, yeah. Find a woman who drinks expensive wine. That cancels out. Yeah, I don't think we both need expensive habits, or else then we'd just be homeless. Thankfully, my wife doesn't have any expensive habits. I appreciate that about her. I'm always encouraging her to find a hobby that she enjoys, but she doesn't. My wife's favorite hobby is cleaning the house. So, and I'm not saying that as a joke. She actually enjoys it. It's not like I'm some kind of slave driver over here trying to make her clean the house. She just really likes cleaning. I don't really understand it, but she likes it. So whatever makes her happy, right? So Hanging AZ is drinking Rare Breed. OJ for Hire. Now, so is that what you're sipping on tonight? Is the C921? What are you drinking tonight? Let's see, who else we got in here? Adam. Is Adam drinking anything? I'm guessing no. Excuse me 1 second, folks. My dog is causing a ruckus. Buddy, you're not being good. I apologize, everybody. All right, back to it. Don't buy her a vacuum cleaner for Christmas. Just saying. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, probably. Although, funny enough, she was complaining that our current vacuum is not working as well as it used to. So I probably will have to buy her a vacuum soon. So, yeah. Okay, Fighting Cock tonight. Well, hey, that's a solid budget pour, man. Yeah, I've downed a couple bottles of Fighting Cock. That's a good one. Solid 103 proof, decent drinker. I think it has kind of a similar profile to like a Wild Turkey 101. Not quite the same, but kind of similar on the palate. Lots of cinnamon and spice. Good stuff, man. And Adam drinking some E.H. Taylor tonight. Yeah, see, Adam drives all over the place, so he gets to find E.H. Taylor at decent prices. I unfortunately don't have that luxury. I got one downstairs that I've been hoarding for like, I don't know, a year and a half. It's about half full still. And I sip on it very infrequently because I really enjoy it and I know it's going to be hard to replace. So, yeah. Get a Shark vacuum. Actually, that's what we have right now. But it is 6 or 7 years old, but it is awesome. That is a great vacuum. Look at us on a whiskey channel discussing vacuums. See how diverse we are. So ladies out there, see, we have all kinds of great knowledge. We can share whiskey knowledge and also vacuum knowledge. But you didn't expect that tonight on a whiskey stream. All right, Fighting Cock out of Heaven Hill. Yeah, it is. But I was just saying that the profile kind of reminds me of like a Wild Turkey 101. There's like aspects of it that are similar to me. Let's see here. Yeah. Fighting Cock is cheap, but I think it is a decent bourbon. I'm not going to hate on the Fighting Cock. I think it's a pretty good one. I like it, especially for the price. I would say Fighting Cock and JTS Brown, as far as like, because those are like $15 bottles, something like that, and they're both 100 plus proof. I mean, the only thing that's kind of similar in quality that's around that price, at least here in Kentucky, is this guy right here. So those three, if you want something around 100 proof that is good and like $15-ish, those are kind of my three go-tos. So my bottle is actually a 2019 Still Living in the Woods. So yeah, it is a couple of years old. I found it at a store and it was kind of a dusty. It had been sitting there a while. I just kind of got lucky that I was in a place where apparently no one appreciates good whiskey. And so I got it at 60, which I know is over MSRP, but I think it was well worth it. And we actually, me and Adam, what is your freaking handle? ASP3. We actually kind of did a comparison of mine versus his. He has a this year bottle, and they have changed. Of course, I mean, I know they are batches, but I think we both kind of agreed that my older bottle was better. I mean, not like significantly, but quite a bit different profile. Still, though, the bottle that Adam has is a good one. Like E.H. Taylor Small Batch is a good bottle. I hate that it's as good as it is because it's so hard to find now. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, I see. We're going back to the vacuum thing. It took me a second to wind back and figure out what we're talking about. Yeah, proper whiskey drinking requires a clean floor. True. Yeah, I mean, because you don't want crap all over your feet while you're walking around the house drinking whiskey. That's just gross. You're so right in the profile. Yeah. I think Fighting Cock is like, especially if you're in a pinch and you don't have the extra $10 to spend on a Wild Turkey 101, Fighting Cock will get the job done. Matt Porter did a Fighting Cock versus Wild Turkey. Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, I remember when Matt did that. Yeah, I mean, I still think that Wild Turkey 101 is better, just for the record, but I don't think it's like so much better that you should never drink Fighting Cock. I think Fighting Cock is a decent whiskey. And plus, it's called Fighting Cock. I mean, that's just hilarious. So good on them for naming it a funny thing. Yeah, Fighting Cock is 103 proof. They had to, they had to beat the turkey. I guess that was the thinking there. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, OJ for hire, where do you live roundabouts, and where are you working? How far from home are you? Yeah, yeah. I also, as I've already said, I secondly recommend. I think the great thing about Fighting Cock, or any of those three that I mentioned, the JTS Brown or the Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, any three of those, they're cheap enough that if you put them on ice, nobody's really going to frown, because it's not like such an expensive whiskey that people are going to be pissed off. If you mix them, that's fine. Nobody's going to care, because it's budget enough that it's not like you're wasting good whiskey. So I think it fills a lot of roles, any three of those, pretty nicely. Now, personally, as you know, if you watched any of my videos, I am not a guy that mixes. I'm strongly opposed to that, but to each their own. So if you want to do that, I think a budget whiskey is the way to go, especially a punchy one like Fighting Cock, or really the three I mentioned: Fighting Cock, JTS Brown, or Evan Williams Bib. All great for mixing because they got enough character to show through in a drink. Oklahoma and in South Dallas right now. Okay, yeah, so that's a little ways from home. Cool. So what is whiskey hunting like in Oklahoma? Just out of curiosity, are you having the same troubles as all of us? I would imagine so. Probably. I would guess it's terrible everywhere, unless you're trying to get Weller in Ohio. That's about the only kind of one spot where there's actually some hope of maybe finding a thing that you're after if you really like Weller. And actually just really Weller Special Reserve, because that's about the only one you're going to find. But if you really like that stuff, then I guess great. So it depends on what you mean, Hanging AC. If you mean just in general, yes. Yes, Early Times Bib is everywhere, but the new bottle is everywhere. And I know, I've had long discussions with people about this, and we went back and forth, and they have even emailed Barton, and Barton has gotten back to them and said that no, we have not changed anything, which makes sense because it is a Bottle and Bond product. But here's the thing that I think no one is considering, is that when Sazerac took over and they took the juice from Brown-Forman, I really doubt that the person that is mixing the whiskey, that has such a determining factor in how the end product tastes, I doubt that's the same person now. So the person that is blending the whiskey now, I'm almost certain is different, and you can tell in the bottle. It tastes much more like a Barton profile, the 1792 kind of thing. It tastes very much like a 1792 now to me. I've done the comparison multiple times now because I've had so many discussions with people, and I actually even took that video down because several people were like, saying that it wasn't true, and I didn't want to be spreading misinformation and stuff. But when I drink the two back to back, they are not the same at all. The old bottle of Early Times Bottle and Bond is completely different, and by completely different, I mean incredibly better. I think the Old Forester profile just wins hands down. I have two of the old bottles downstairs that I'm holding on to. So to answer your question, long form there, AZ, finding the old bottle, not easy at all. You have to kind of go into ghetto-y backwoods stores that no one frequents much and hope that you can find a bottle that does not have the notch on the back. And just for folks that don't know what I'm talking about, so the new bottle is actually different. The bottle itself is different. There is a notch on the back of the bottle in the glass itself, and that is from when 1792 took over the bottling process, and that notch is due to their new bottling line. So that's how you can identify the bottles that 1792 is bottling. Now, Again, it's up for debate whether or not things have changed, but my palate says they have. So if you were trying to find the old bottle does not have a notch in the back on the glass. Now, moving on here. I go to OKC to find some good stuff at the big stores. Yeah, and you can sometimes. You know, I get lucky. I do not live in a metropolis by any means. The closest big town to us is Lexington, and that's about 2 hours away. Somerset is fairly close to where I live, and that's about a half hour away. And there's a decent amount of liquor stores there, but Kroger and Walmart are my go-tos. That's where you're going to find stuff at SRP. The other stores in Somerset, not going to be SRP. And so you just have to hope that the store owner doesn't know what the secondary prices are in a bottle, or else you're probably going to get screwed. Weller SR is all over the place down here in Texas. Personally, I'm not a weeder guy, though. So here's the thing. Still living in the woods. I would agree. I mean, especially agree on Weller Special Reserve. It does not much for me. In fact, as you guys have probably seen, in my weeded whiskey war, it lost to Larceny, which you can find everywhere all the time, always. I think Larceny is a superior weeded bourbon. Of course, it has just more of a more standard bourbon profile. That's probably why I prefer it. Yeah, I find a lot of weeders to be overly sour and kind of soft on the palate, and honestly, kind of boring. That's my kind of take on that. But then I got this guy, and now I have to kind of take all that back, because this is awesome. This is an amazing whiskey. I cannot speak highly of it enough. It's good stuff. It's bold. It's got a ton of flavor, lots of dark, rich notes, as you guys will see in the review that's out today. It's awesome. Love it. I grabbed 14 ET bibs as soon as I heard about Saz thing. Okay, well, awesome, man. I hope that you got all of the non-notch bottles, because they started coming out a while ago. I started seeing the notch on the back bottles easily 6 months ago. It was pretty soon after Sazerac bought them. I was actually surprised how quickly it happened. Yeah, so I hope you got the old ones, because those things are awesome. I wish I would have bought more. I wish I had more than 2. I love the Larceny. Yes, I enjoy the Weeders. Yeah, well, that's the thing, though, is like I was just saying, is that Larceny to me has a much more standard bourbon profile. So I think that's why I prefer it, and probably why you prefer it. It doesn't have the softness and kind of the, I don't know, it's kind of a sour, like wet hay note that I find in a lot of weeders that I don't really enjoy that much. The Larceny's good stuff. Thing I hate about ghetto stores here, all the bottles are behind the counter. Yeah, that's always a bad sign. When you walk in and the bottles you're looking for are all behind the counter, and well, I'm not going to say the next part. And the store owner, you know, asks you what you're looking for, and then you have to, like, individually, what's the price of that? What's the price of that? What's the price of that? Of course, after the first bottle, you probably have a pretty good idea of how badly you're going to get screwed. But yeah, that gets old really quick. I'm sure we've all had that experience. How much are you asking for that Eagle Rare? $89.99. Okay. All right. You have a good day. Kroger in Arizona has weak selection. Really? That's interesting. I mean, here it's, of course, now Somerset, which is kind of the closest big-ish town to me, that has a fairly small selection, but I would say decent. But in bigger towns, there are Krogers that have a full liquor store. I mean, their selection is, I mean, I would not like Total Wine or Liquor Barn levels, but a very nice selection. So that's something. I would never guess that Walgreens is outdoing Kroger. That sucks, though. Sorry to hear that about Arizona. Come on, Arizona, step it up. Oh, yeah. Larceny is refreshing when it's 115 outdoors. Yeah, I'd say so. AZ, I do not miss that. I lived in Florida, which I know is a different kind of heat, but still just oppressive heat. I do not miss it at all. You can have it, AZ. You can have all the heat. I don't want it. Yes, they were the old ones from last fall, actually. All right, awesome. OJ for hire. Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine if you were the kind of person that, say hypothetically, were to sell whiskey in the future, maybe, I would imagine those bottles are probably going to go up in value because the people that really love those bottles are going to start figuring out that the new bottle sucks. So, yeah. Largely is smooth. Yes, I do hate that word. So, I mean, it is, I guess. That's true. There's nothing like spiky or sharp or super spicy about it. So it is smooth. I think that smooth is I don't it's not so much that I hate the word. I think it's overused. I think that's why I dislike it because people use it. I mean, it's probably like the 5 bottles I have sitting here. It's probably on every single one of them. And the thing is that some of them are not necessarily smooth, but that's not a bad thing. It's not bad if a bourbon isn't super smooth. You can have excellent bourbons that aren't that smooth. I mean, like, I would not describe Rare Breed as smooth, but it's awesome. So if smoothness, I mean, I've said this in my reviews, if smoothness is all you're after, then I don't think whiskey is the category of liquor you should be drinking. Uh, it's such like an oxymoron to me that we find a word that is like the worst word to describe whiskey. Whiskey is supposed to punch you in the face, and we're using the word smooth to describe it. It just seems kind of dumb to me. I think you should drink whiskey because it kind of kicks your ass a little bit, but that's just me. Fry's Food and Drug is Kroger and AZ. Okay, interesting. But if I'm ever in Arizona, I will have to keep that in mind. Yes, good point, Adam. Yeah, so that's the thing is that depending on where you're at, some Krogers will have they always each Kroger has kind of different stuff that they get. I'm not really sure who's in charge of the distribution for Kroger, but each one kind of has different stuff that they'll get in. So it's for me, it's always worth it. If I see a Kroger liquor, I'm always stopping in because you never know what you're going to find. In fact, the same store that had the New Riff malted rye also at SRP, by the way, which is the only time and probably the only time I will ever see it at SRP because I've heard of people paying like 120 plus for that same malted rye at other stores. So I am so happy I got it at SRP. That was a find. That's a good ride. But that same store, they also had the Jack Daniels, the gold, what is that, the 27 or whatever the heck it is. That was at that same Kroger. So yeah, definitely hit up your local Krogers and Walmarts and things like that because sometimes you'll get lucky and find a kind of a hard to find one. Safeway has a great selection in Arizona. Not familiar with Safeway either, but cool. Smooth equals boring. A lot of the times, yes, it does. I would agree. See, that's the thing. It's like I would describe Eagle Rare as smooth, and by that I mean boring. I think that the flavors that are there are nice, but they're boring. There's nothing about it that's really an experience. It's just like, yep, that's a whiskey. That's a thing that I drank. What's next? So yeah, I think we as the whiskey community need to find better words to describe the quality of a bourbon. I don't think smooth is the word. Old bottom shelf, small batch bottle in bond, smooth barrel proof. I don't know what all that together is supposed to mean. You lost me, AZ. Old bottom shelf, small batch, bottle and bond. Okay, I guess these are maybe words we should use instead of smooth. I guess maybe that's what you were trying to get at. OJ Fryer, got to hit the sack. Got 3-hour drive home. Oh, that sucks, man. All right, well, thank you for joining. Sorry if I hope you haven't left yet. But thanks for joining, man. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody that's kind of joined tonight. That's kind of new. And thank you for all my regulars as well. Really having a good time tonight. Liking all the new faces, loving all the comments. But have a safe drive. OJ Fryer, thanks for joining again. Jack, smooth equals subtle. Spice equals good. I would agree. Yeah, it's just, again, I mean, I keep rehashing, but there's better words. That's why I think, that's what really got me interested in whiskey reviews, is that whiskey is so complex. To just say that it's good because it's smooth, it does not do any whiskey justice. It deserves a lot more than that. So, yes, as Hannah AZ said, safe travels. Get there safe, buddy. We want to see you in the future. Yes. Spice equals good. I agree 100%. Me as well. I like those flavors, and especially high rise. Yeah. So I think this is a high rye mash bill, not a actual rye, but a good, actually, I'm going to finish this Russell's. Rinse my glass and pour myself a little bit of this Old Granddad high rye mash bill. Yeah, man, the high rye mash bills and high rye ryes are good. They're a lot more, a lot of complexity usually, a lot of cool, interesting flavors so you don't get in other bourbons. Excuse me while I swallow that water real quick and get some new whiskey in here. Yeah, I think the whiskey community is kind of opening up more to ryes, but there's still a lot of people that are kind of opposed to it. In fact, there's several different Facebook pages that are bourbon pages, and like they're bourbon pages exclusive, and they only want you talking about rye. Don't really understand that, but whatever does it for you. Do most ryes have licorice taste? So some do, for sure, but I would not say most. Wild Turkey, to me, does a really great job of not getting licorice taste in their ryes. I think Old Forester as well. Great job of avoiding the licorice taste. Now, one that does, to me, is very licorice, at least to my palate, is Bulleit. Bulleit rye is very licorice forward to me. And that's why I don't really enjoy it. To each their own. If you like licorice, then maybe you're going to like the Bulleit thing, but it's not my thing. And then the Elijah Craig rye is just kind of blah. I wish they did more with it, because Elijah Craig, that's coming out of Heaven Hill, and Heaven Hill is a good distillery. I was just kind of disappointed by the Elijah Craig rye. It's just kind of there. It's very middle of the road, nothing very exciting. But now, so wish I could get you a bottle of Tao's Lightning Rye. Okay. I will have to look out for that. So what's the price range, and is that like a local thing, Jack? Where are you seeing that at? Is that like a kind of a distillery only kind of release, local release? What are we talking about there? I would agree with those picks. I don't know if I can agree with the Willett thing. So if I remember right, Still Live in the Woods, it seems like you said that Rowan's Creek was your favorite kind of $30-ish bottle. Am I remembering that correctly? I have yet to try it. And if I'm being honest, I have kind of a prejudice against Willet because I've had the Willet pot still 3 different times now, and I did not like it all 3 times. And so because of that, I kind of wrote off Willet. But I will try and give Rowan's Creek a go. It's kind of, to me, Willet suffers from the same thing that Four Roses does. It's kind of overly soured, at least to my palate, and I don't really enjoy that. I prefer kind of the darker notes in a bourbon, and there's a lot of kind of sour oak and kind of lemongrass, kind of wet hay notes. At least that's what I got on the pot still. So I hope that Rowan's Creek is not like that. Maybe you could inform me. You said you did like the Redemption Rye. Okay, so that's MGP, so that makes sense. MGP, I have to agree with what Still Live in the Woods said. MGP just makes great stuff. That's what I was saying earlier. I wish that MGP would keep more of their stuff in-house and source less and just do their own thing with it, because MGP is making, like, for instance, what is it? The Remus Repeal. Those bottles are killer, and that's kind of MGP's kind of top of the line, not top of the line stuff, but it's certainly their more premium line. Those are amazing bottles, and even the regular Remus are good stuff, especially if you can get like a store pick, like a barrel proof Remus. Awesome stuff, and that's MGP. You know, from start to finish, that's MGP doing the whole process with their own stuff, and killer bottles. I wish MGP would just start putting out more stuff themselves, because they are awesome distillers. Yeah, I definitely agree with the Wild Turkey. I mean, we've been over that. I won't rehash it again, but I'm a Wild Turkey fanboy for sure. Craig Rye is just proof down Rittenhouse, but more expensive. I don't doubt that. I would agree with that assessment. That seems about spot on. Still Living in the Woods. That's kind of what it tastes like. Because, you know, yeah, and Rittenhouse is decent. Again, it's not my favorite of the bunch, but it's good. And I never thought about it that way. But I think you're right. That's a good assessment of what Elijah Craig Rye is. Okay, so going back to the one you mentioned earlier, what was the name on that? Tao's Lightning Rod. Okay, yeah. So bottle local. And Jack, if you don't mind me asking, where are you at, just for reference, like just state-wise? Rowan's Creek and Noah's Mill are much more consistent than the pot still. Very spicy. Okay, cool. Now, out of the two, because I see both all the time, Still Live in the Woods, which do you prefer, Rowan's Creek or Noah's Mill? Because I know that both those are from Willet. I've kind of been going back and forth on which to buy. Do you have a preference, palate-wise? What do you think? Again, as you've seen in my reviews, I prefer the darker notes. So I'll let you tell me what you think I might like better. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, AZ. So if MGP started sending juice over to Woodinville, it would only improve Woodinville, because, yeah, Wooden. I don't know what Woodinville's doing, but it's god awful. At least the bottle I have. I know, man, there are some people that have some strong feelings about Woodinville. You should see some of the comments I got. There were like people that were saying I'm just some dumb inbred idiot hick that needs to stop doing reviews. I was like, I don't know how that relates to my palate, but okay, guy. Yeah, there were some people that were really, really butthurt about my Woodinville review. It was pretty funny, actually. But anyway, yeah. So I think Woodinville, the whole thing is consistency. And Woodinville seems to be very inconsistent based on comments I've gotten from several different people. So I don't know. Get it together, Woodinville. Maybe MGP should send them some juice over there and help them out a little bit. It could only improve the product. So two of my favorite ryes are High West Rendezvous Rye. Okay, well, I'm with you on that. Rendezvous Rye is a killer bottle of rye. And Taos Lightning, just to give you a level of where Taos Lightning is at. Whistle Pigs are probably... Okay, so you don't like the Whistle Pig. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so Rendezvous is awesome. So just so you guys know, I know I already put the review out, but if you see a bottle of New Riff, the malted rye, that's kind of similar profiles to the Rendezvous. It's super sweet. I think I described it as like a strawberry-filled donut in my review. It's awesome. It's not super minty. It's not super like licorice forward. It's a really, really solid rye. And as Jack mentioned, Rendezvous is awesome. I know it's kind of limited now. It's hard to find, but great, great bottle. Redemption High Rye Bourbon store picks are awesome too. George Remus store picks are some of my absolute favorites. Yes, absolutely agree. I can't agree with the Redemption because I haven't tried it, but definitely agree on the Remus store picks. They are killer. And Jack is in New Mexico. Okay, cool. So you and AZ not too far apart there. Yes, I would agree. Tobacco, leather notes, some of my favorites. Also kind of like the roasted dark fruits, like the roasted dates, the plum notes, things like that. And then also like, kind of your really toasty oak notes. When I find a lot of sour oak in a bourbon, I just have to assume that it's young or that it was not aged properly. Something there is amiss to me. That's kind of the thought I have in my head when I'm reviewing. So when I get more of a toasted, darker, more mature oak note, then I know to me, that's the sign of a good quality bourbon. I like both. It depends more on which proof I'm going for. The flavor profile is very similar, but Rose Creek is 100 and no milliliters. Okay, so it could be that they are the same, since coming out of the same distillery. It could be same mash bill, same deal. Just one is proof down. So all right, good insight on that. I will keep that in mind. I believe with that said, I think. Am I right in saying that Noah's Mill is more? I think it seems like it's around here. It's like 45-ish. Does that sound right? Still living in the woods. I tried Woodinville from Friend. You're spot on. Okay, yeah, good. So just so you know, AZ and everybody else. So now that with your confirmation, that makes about the dozenth person that has said that my profile and my nosing and tasting notes were exactly their experience. So I guess there are some good bottles of Woodinville out there. I don't own one, but apparently a lot of people are also having the same experience as myself. And that experience is wood stain. So if that's a flavor you like in your liquor, then I guess good on you. Not for me, though. Have to say thank you, AZ, again for recommending this. This has been a great budget bottle. Really enjoying it so far. Have to say, even though it's not in the $30 price range, I think tonight I prefer it over both of these guys. And I like Russell's, and I like, well, actually, I don't like Four Roses, so I'm misquoting myself. I like the Russell's 10, but I like the boldness of the Old Grandad Bib better. Full Woodinville bottle makes a yeah, or even an empty one. I guess it depends on your stack of paper and how windy it is. But yeah, you can just dump out the bourbon and just put the empty one there. It is a nice looking bottle. I will give Woodinville that. I think there's way, way too much story on the back. Just bull crap that no one needs to know, like about whiskey being driven over hills and crap. But, whatever. I do like Whistle Pigs. Okay. I see. I misread earlier. Yeah, I haven't had much of the Whistle Pig. I don't even remember which one it was. I had a little bit at a friend's house like a year and a half ago, Couldn't even tell you what it was. It was good. It was just kind of forgettable. It was one of the more budget-friendly Whistle Pigs, though. Couldn't tell you which one it was, though. I'm not a big Whistle Pig fan or chaser by any means. Okay, so Rowan's Creek runs about 40, and Noah's Mill is about 50. Okay. Yeah, so I was just looking today. Rowan's Creek, I think, is like 36, I want to say, at Kroger. So I will pick that up and throw it in the mix of the $30-ish showdown. We'll get that in there for you. They're still living in the woods. See how we like it. Well, looks cool. Yeah, the bottle, just the bottle. What's inside? Horrendous. I mean, you know, Jack, the thing is that there are some Woodinville lovers. There's a lot of them. Like I said, I mean, I got torched in the comments when I put that video up. I mean, there were people that like hated me for my review. Now, granted, I went pretty hard in the review, but I mean, it's just a whiskey review, and like people were like seriously pissed off that I would even say such a thing. Do a bib skirmish. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely a plan in the works. I won't say when, because there's so many things I'm shooting right now. So so here's the plan for all watching. I want to get this kind of $30-ish bottle thing done. I'm guessing that'll probably take us to the end of the year, since I'm releasing 2 reviews a week. And my plan is end of the year to do the final bracket of that. I want to get 16 bottles total. So we'll be, 4 and 4, 4 and 4, and then that'll narrow down to the next 4 and then the final 4. That's kind of the plan for that. And I'm guessing that will take us to the end of the year. And then I do have planned a bib showdown. So that will be this guy, Evan Williams bib, Early Times bib. I haven't decided what the other ones will be. I'm guessing there's so many other bibs around that price range. So like, excuse me, even though it's also Jim Beam, Old Tub is a bib, and that's similar price point. Trying to think what else is around there. See, the thing is Old Barton is no longer bib. A lot of companies went away for that just because of the strict rules. But anyway, I'll look through the collection and we'll get that done for sure. I do like Grandad's and George Dickel whiskey. So Jack, I have to say I was hard on Dickel for a while, and then I tried the Dickel. I guess actually it's their bib, the Bottle and Bond. It's like around $40, and that was not bad. It wasn't so Flintstone vitamin minerally forward. It's still there. There's still hints of that there, but it's at like a tolerable level for me. And I don't mind it's more the minerally part that kind of annoys me about Dickel. Like the kind of the sweetness of the Flintstone vitamin aspect is fine. It's just when it gets super minerally, like kind of like you're eating like magnesium or potassium or something like that, that's when it kind of ruins the experience for me. But the Dickel bib is pretty good stuff, gotta say. Yeah, so mine is not 90% full, still live in the woods, but only because I have given it to people blind just to see what they thought. So I've given it to my cousin, I've given it to his wife, I gave it to my wife, I gave it to Adam, my neighbor. Let's see, I gave it to my nephew, I gave it to another buddy down in Florida. Who else has tried it? Who else have I had try it? I had a couple other people try it. And now I try and not sway them either way. I just tell, I'll have them try, 2 or 3 whiskeys and just have them tell me, what do you like? What do you not like? What flavors are you picking up? And a lot of these people are kind of new to whiskey. And kind of universally, no one likes my bottle. of Woodinville. The only person that even kind of tolerated it was, I don't know if I should even say this live, probably not. But I think we all give our kids and, people that are underage small amounts of stuff, just, build their tolerance. But my nephew, who is, I will be honest, underage, I gave him a sip. I want to be very clear. He's not like drinking whiskey with us. Gave him a sip, and he was the only one that said, his response was this. He's like, eh. So the experience from my Woodinville bottle ranges from completely awful to, eh. So if that's what you're after in a whiskey, then, pick up a bottle of Woodinville. Yes, I'm glad I was able to do that for you, AC. I hope to continue to save more and more people's money. Just don't get the Tabasco Dickel or the Pickle Dickel. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the Tabasco Dickel just because it's become this like phenomenon that if you have a whiskey channel, you have to do the Tabasco Dickel. It's like a rite of passage. So I will probably have to do that review at some point in the future. I kind of put it off just like I did the Southern Comfort and the Fireball reviews that, well, Southern Comfort's out already and then Fireball's coming soon. Those are just things you have to do because they're kind of part of the whiskey community. They're really high selling products. A lot of people drink them. So, it's just kind of for fun though. No one takes those serious. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, so that was kind of my thing as soon as I started the channel, is that I wanted to be as honest as I could be. And so that's why I do the blind tastings anytime, like once we've done like a certain category, like when we did the budgets, then I did the budget whiskey war, and then we did the weeded whiskey war, and then we did the kind of the $25-ish whiskey war. Because when you do blinds, then you can't have bias. There's no way to. So then it's honest. Then you get real results. You know what sucks. You know what the winner is. You can't cheat in a blind. I mean, you can make yourself familiar enough that you can kind of pick up, you can recognize profiles. But in the end, I mean, you should be honest with yourself, because why do you want to keep buying crap just because of a particular label? That never made any sense to me. I mean, I'm not getting any money from any of these distilleries, so why would I promote a bad product? I think if you order a Fireball in Ireland, the bartender is legally obligated to punch you in the face. Probably they should, especially since they invented whiskey. It should be illegal to serve Fireball in Ireland. It should be like a crime punishable by death or something. It probably is. Yeah, we can thank the Irish for whiskey and amazing beer. Thank you, Irish people. They know how to do both things fantastically. Yeah, actually, as I was getting back into whiskey, for those of you that don't know, I took a long hiatus from whiskey because when I was a young man, I drank way too much one night. And by way too much, I mean a full fifth in about 30 minutes. And I was sick for 3 days. Good old Wild Turkey 101. Yeah, that bottle kicked my butt. Woke up in my own vomit, and I couldn't even smell whiskey for 15 years. Just the smell would make me nauseous. So the way I worked myself back into whiskey, because I always loved whiskey, and I wanted to get back into it. This was, 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, you know what? I'm going to drink whiskey again. So the way I started doing it is I just started mixing whiskey into Guinness or other stouts, and slowly just kept adding less beer and more whiskey until my palate could tolerate it. And now I just drink whiskey. But yeah, thank you, Guinness, for getting me there. People will value and respect your channel with honest reviews. Well, thank you, AC. I appreciate that, man. And that's always the goal, and that will never change. I don't care who comes along, because honestly, if I just make enough money to break even, then I'm good, because this is just like a hobby. I'm going to love whiskey no matter if I make no money or not. So if I just make a little bit, from YouTube or Patreon or other sources, just enough to break even to support my bourbon habit, then I'm happy. I'm not trying to get rich here. Me and my wife make enough money to support ourselves, and that's all I really want to do. So, love Bass beer. Agreed. Yeah, that's another good one. I mean, I always love a good dark beer, nice porter or a stout. Always good. Sometimes that is, like, especially after a really, really hot day, like if I've just been sweating my butt off, that is what I might go to instead of whiskey. If it's been an exceptionally hard day, just a really cold porter or stout. I mean, it's almost like a meal, but it's just relaxing. I hear your story was switch tequila for whiskey. That's probably worse. I can't imagine what that's like. A bottle of tequila would be like regurgitated. Not good. Not good at all. I do appreciate the honest reviews as well. No, I'm reading that. As well, that and the history behind the label. Well, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I need to get back into the history. So I kind of cut down on the history, and I miss it myself. And the main reason I cut down on it, if I'm honest, is because, so you can view all your analytics on YouTube. And it was really irritating me that I would put all this time into doing research on a bottle, and then I would write out the script for the history, and I would, then I have to memorize it, and I go over and over and over it, so that way I'm not having to make a ton of cuts in the video. And then, I put out the video, and then it's out for a week, and then I go back and I'll watch my analytics, and people are just skipping the history part. They just skip the entire, because you can, in your analytics, you can see, it's like a graph chart, and you can see where people are viewing and where they're not. And so it'd be like watching, and then you get to the history and it just drops, and it's, like flatline, and it comes back when the history was over. And so that irritated me, because I'm like, I'm putting all this effort in and no one's watching it. But you know what? I'm going to get back to it for the people that do appreciate it, because screw them. I don't want pumpkin spice whiskey. I would agree. I don't want, I don't want pumpkin spice anything. I don't want pumpkin spice beer, coffee, none of those things. I don't want pumpkin spice anything. Maybe pumpkin spice candles. My wife likes those. That's probably fine. I don't want pumpkin spice in any of my food, though. No. That's, I know it's seasonal and all that crap, but I don't want it in any of my liquors, for sure. I'm a lager man, hate IPAs. So for the most part, I agree. There are certain IPAs that are kind of the exception. There's one out from Founders that's pretty good. I can't remember the name of it. It is a double IPA, but it's not, well, I guess it's not super hoppy, or however you describe it. I don't do beer, so I can't tell you all the different crap on that, but you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't taste like grass. It's a decent IPA, but for the most part, I'm with you on that, AZ. It's just not really my thing. All right, nice. Just poured some Rendezvous right now. Yeah, for anyone that does not have a bottle of Rendezvous, if you can find one, pick it up. That is a killer rye. I just figured it out. Johnny Black has a faint tequila stank on it. Yeah, that's probably true. That's another whiskey that I'm going to have to review at some point, and it's going to irritate me, because Johnny Black is just such a joke of a scotch. I cannot believe the numbers that it puts out as far as sales wise. It's just, there's this phenomenon that I talk about with my friends and family all the time. I call it the Nike phenomenon, because there's these brands that they've marketed themselves so well that it's like the branding is like self-sustaining. They don't have to put out a quality product anymore. They're just kind of maintaining, coasting on this marketing that they have put out for years. I hope I'm not offending anyone, but Budweiser is kind of like in the same category. Jim Beam. Yeah, there's a lot of companies like that. Now I mean Jim Beam white label, not like across the board all Jim Beam products, but and so like Jim Beam's the best-selling bourbon in the country. Nike's probably the best-selling sports shoe, and I don't think they're good products, but the marketing is so like epic level that they just kind of coast on the marketing, and I don't think it's a good product. So yeah, Johnnie Walker Black is kind of in that same category for me. It's just people go to it because it's the thing they know, and there's much better products out there. Back in the day, Guinness was always next to Bass for black and tans. Bass is hard to find now. True, it is hard to find for sure. And yeah, I mean, I've always been a Guinness guy. I mean, I just love stouts, like especially like imperial stouts and imperial porters. Man, just some of my favorite beers ever. What is it? I feel like it's High West, but that's a different. I think there's a High West Brewing Company. It's something West. It's out in California. Fun with Whiskey could tell you all about it. He lives in Cali, and we share the love for this brewing company. But man, they make some killer stouts and porters. Awesome stuff. I am German Irish lagerman. Yeah, so I am like 1,000% German, just for reference. I am a mix, but so my dad's side is very much German, and my mom's side is a little bit German. Then I also have some American Indian, some Irish, some Swedish, and what else? Seems like there's something else. I guess that's it. Yeah, so all good drinking races. So that's good. All those people are known for drinking. So yeah. Those nasty hops stink up the beer. Yeah, they do kind of at times for sure. So while we're on the subject of beer, what are some of your favorites out there, guys? What are you finding? Any kind of like craft beers you're finding that are awesome? And I'm always up for talking about others, especially beers. I can talk about beer almost as long as I can talk about whiskey. So. Yeah, I agree, AZ. Yeah, Guinness needs to stick to what they do well. They make awesome stouts, and they need to just keep doing that. They came out with like an anniversary product, I think it was 2 years ago, and that was fantastic. And then they came out with a bourbon barrel aged Guinness. That was also great. Yeah, I'm kind of, well, not kind of, I am a Guinness fan. So yeah, anytime I see a new Guinness variation, well, at least in the stout line, I'm going to pick it up. I like Boddington. Never heard of it, but I will keep my eye out for it. Now, is that like a local spot? Like kind of a local brewery there, Jack? Or do they have national distribution? Not sure on that one. So I asked last live, but got a couple new faces tonight. So I guess I should ask this earlier. But are there any bottles that I have not reviewed yet that you guys would like to see? Thanks to those suggestions last week. That's why we got this bottle and the Russell's 10, which the Russell's 10 I've had before, but I just kind of forgot that I didn't have. Well, let's get it focused here. I just kind of forgot that I didn't have one on hand. And granted I'd had, but it was years ago. So thank you for those suggestions, guys. Always have to remind me. Sometimes I forget. I overlook things. or just have kind of maybe written things off. And so it's good to go back and try stuff. So if there are bottles that you have not seen me review that you want to see, then let me know. I don't know if Still Living in the Woods is here still, but Rowan's Creek is now on the list for sure because of that. AZ Light Lager from Huss Brewery when it is hot. Also, oh yeah, okay. So we talked about the Victoria Mexican beer, last stream. Yeah, I have yet to. I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for that. I will have to keep an eye out for the Victoria Mexican beer and Huss Brewery. Okay, so all right, yeah. I could get the bourbon in. The rye would have to be, this is all $30-ish bourbons, but yeah, I could get the bourbon in there. We could do that. Especially now that since Still Living in the Woods said it's MGP juice, that means it's probably pretty good. MGP doesn't make bad stuff. So yeah, that would be a good thing to throw in the mix. No, Boddington is English. Should be able to find it in the Kroger stores. It's similar to Guinness as far as the widget and pour, but much different taste. Okay. Yeah, honestly, when Guinness went to the widget thing, I felt like it was gimmicky. I don't know. It's cool, whatever. But one thing of note is the widget is not in the extra stout, and I appreciate that because the extra stout doesn't need anything. It's amazing on its own. Huss is local AZ brewery. Okay, so probably not going to find it here, but maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows? The rye was better. I tried both. Okay, well then, so your thoughts on the bourbon specifically, AZ? Do you think the bourbon itself is worth the buy? Because I mean, you're kind of seeing what the contenders we have are, and just so you guys know, Cooper's Craft 100 is coming. I have a feeling that's going to be the winner, based on my recent review. Man, that bottle is awesome. Of course, I mean, a lot of other people have talked about it as well, but Cooper's Craft 100 proof, that is a killer $30-ish bottle. And will probably be our winner, but who knows? Who knows how things will turn out in the blind tasting. Have you done rare breed? Okay, so no, I have not. And so Jack, and really everybody, just so you guys know, so what I'm kind of doing on the channel is working my way up in price. My thought when I started the channel is I kind of started like if for a person that's just getting into whiskey, I'm kind of taking you through the journey of kind of what I did. So I started with kind of budget-ish bourbons, and I kind of worked my way up in price point and kind of, went through them and figured out by doing blinds and stuff what I liked and what I didn't like and what I thought was better and worse. And so that's kind of what I'm doing on the channel. So right now we're kind of in the $30-ish price range. Now I have had the rare breed rye, but I have not reviewed it yet. And it's only because that's around at least here anyway, it's around 60, 65. So we're not quite into that price range yet, but it's definitely something that is coming up. Yeah, for sure. Because rare breed rye it's awesome. The cheaper Redemption stuff is only 2 years old though. Not bad, but nothing special either. Okay, well, good to know. Yeah, so I think that younger ryes kind of can get away with that right now because there's not a ton of old rye out there. So, I mean, there's a few companies that are putting out some older ryes, but for the most part, most rye is still kind of young because that's kind of a growing market. So Redemption bourbon was just okay. Well, just for fun, I'll probably pick up a bottle anyway because why not? Okay, I can't find Cooper's Craft here, but would love to see a review. Well, it is coming. I've already shot it. I got to edit it still and get all that done. But so a couple things have gotten postponed because I keep finding bottles that I want to get out kind of quickly. So, Larceny pushed back Makers 46. And now I think this FAE-02 is going to push back 46. But then the review after 46, I guess it doesn't have to be, but it's just kind of how I'd planned it, is Cooper's Craft. So within the next month for sure, the Cooper's Craft, the whiskey's getting to me. The Cooper's Craft review will be out. And it's good stuff. Now, specifically, I'm talking about the 100 proof one. The lower proof one is good, but 100 proof is really good, especially for 30 bucks. Now, do you mean, what is it, the Prairie Bourbon? If that's the one you're asking about, no, I have not. But you know what? That is, around here, it is 30-ish, so I probably need to grab it and put it in there. I've had it multiple times. Actually, just when we were down in Florida, my oldest stepson had bought a bottle, and that's what we sipped on most of the night. It is good stuff. So I will add. I'm gonna have to start making a list here. So Rowan's Creek. What else do we have? Redemption. High West Bourbon. Seems like there was another one. Oh well, yeah. Rare Breed Rye. We will definitely get to, absolutely. Yeah. All the turkey products will be covered on this channel eventually. I can promise you that. If there's anything that's coming out of Wild Turkey, I will review it. And I guess I don't have to go and order a price. That's just kind of mentally what I had planned. Side note, these right here are awesome. The caramel ones. Awesome with bourbon. Chocolate and caramel together with bourbon. Good stuff. I try not to eat sugar a lot, but these things are addictive with bourbon. Well, let's pop this FAE-02, although I've just screwed up my palate. So, yes, for sure. It is coming. I promise. Yeah. Yeah, any Wild Turkey product and any Old Forester product I can get my hands on will be reviewed. I need to get Japanese peanuts. Now, AZ, we talked about these before, and I completely forgot what they were. So if you don't mind describing them again. I hope you guys can't hear me rinsing my palate. Sounds kind of gross, I would imagine. But I just screwed up my palate with M&Ms. So I want to give this FAE-02 a fair chance here. The first pour was kind of underwhelming, I will say that. So I'm hoping, of course, it's not a super expensive. It was a $60 bottle, so not crazy high. So I guess maybe my expectations were too high on this bottle. But, this is kind of Maker's Mark special release seasonal deal. So I was hoping for more. And to me, it's very much like Maker's 46 cast strength. In fact, I might prefer Maker's 46 cast strength. They're about the same price, but maybe the bottle will open up more and that will change. So nose is basically the same, almost identical to Maker's 46 cast strength. And just so you guys know, so let's get a quick readout here. Limited release. Well, I'm not going to read the tasting notes, but the proof is 109.1, so very close to the Maker's 46 cast strength proof. And then stave details, 10 Virginian, I'm sorry, I did not read that right on. 10 virgin toasted French oak staves. So now French oak staves is exactly what Makers 46 is. So I don't know what the difference is between virgin and regular French oak staves. I don't think there's any French oak staves out there getting it on, so I'm not sure what virgin means. Maybe the wood people in the comments can inform me what virgin wood is. But anyway, maybe they don't char it or toast it at all. Maybe that's what they mean by virgin. Not sure exactly. But it smells very much like Makers 46 cast strength. Nearly identical. So, still living in the woods. I can't remember if I asked you earlier, whereabouts are you living, my friend? I know that Jack is New Mexico. AZ is obviously Arizona. Of course, I know where Adam is because he's next door. Who else we had in the comments here? I guess that's everybody right now. Oh, hello, Eric Wright. We have a new person in comments. Thank you for joining us, Eric Wright. Appreciate it. Having David Nicholson reserved tonight and Helmore Dew, XO, Caribbean cast. Okay, cool. The dog is tearing up the couch. I can hear him, so appreciate that. Southeast Texas. Oh, that's right. You did say. Okay. So David Nicholson Reserve. I don't know if I've ever had that. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to picture the label. I feel like I can picture the label. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to Google real quick. I'm just trying to remember if I am remembering the right label on David Nicholson. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So I have seen that around. How do you like it, Eric? How do you like the David Nicholson Reserve? Because I've seen it many times, but never picked up a bottle. But that's true of so many things because there are so many bourbons now. So it's nearly impossible to try them all. Adam lands in the magical land of next door. Yes. Yeah, Adam has certainly benefited from my whiskey collection. There's no doubt about that. He gets all the free samples he wants. Lucky guy. No, yeah, me and Adam, we have a good time. I'm trying to get him off this baseball watching kick he's on right now so we can get back to watching basketball. But anyway, because watching some basketball and sipping on bourbon is one of my favorite things to do. Love Makers 46. I agree. As I mentioned earlier, that review is coming very soon. Yeah, I don't know. So far, this limited release, FA-02, is almost identical to the two Makers 46 cast drinks I have downstairs. I'm going to have to compare all three of them and see if I can pick out the differences. Maybe that's what I'll do for the FAE-02 review. And Eric Wright, you're in Virginia. Okay. Now, who do we have? We had somebody earlier that was from Virginia. Who was that? Was it Mike? Maybe Mike. Decent middle of the road on the David Nicholson. Okay. Now that, if I'm remembering correctly, Eric, of course, you know, I look at many bourbons each week when I'm shopping, but it seems like that's a budget-friendly bottle. Am I right in saying that? Seems like that's around the $20 mark, something like that. Now, Eric Wright, is Virginia, is that a state-controlled pricing state? I can't remember. It seems like Seems like Virginia is state controlled, but maybe I'm wrong. Now, still over in the woods, if my memory is lacking, and I've already asked you this question, I apologize. But what are you seeing Southeast Texas? What are you guys seeing bourbon price wise? Are you seeing crazy prices like everywhere else, or are stores there reasonable? What's your experience? Also, has anyone tried the whiskey I'm sipping on right now, the current release from Maker's Mark, the FAA-02? If anybody else had it, even if you had the previous bottle, that would be interesting to hear your thoughts. Because personally, I feel like it's just Maker's 46 cask strength, 3 bottle. I don't know. It doesn't seem enough different to me to demand a special release. Budget friendly and bib. Okay. Well, hey, so maybe we have another contender for the bib showdown. And are you saying yes to, excuse me, are you saying yes to state controlled prices? I assume so, but guys, I hate to break up the stream, but I need to hit the bathroom real quick. So if you guys give me 2 minutes, talk amongst yourself. Ask each other how your lives are going. What can we do for one another? How can we make the world better while I pee? All right, sorry about that, guys. Back to it here. What have I missed here? I was seeing somewhere that came in a Maker's 46 and Maker's in a special pack somewhere. To export this, if so. Oh, okay. Are you talking about Jack? Are you talking about the combo pack? So it's if I'm remembering correctly, yeah, I think you get like FAE, you get 46, and you get standard Makers. Is that the pack you're talking about? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, it's like around $100, which is kind of a markup considering you're getting. I think you get 3 1/2 in that pack, if that's the pack you are referring to. Haven't had it yet. Are you? Oh, Eric, right? You were talking about C920. Who was that? Yeah, somebody did say it was available already. I can tell you one thing: it's not available here in Kentucky yet. I'm not seeing it anywhere. So, also saw a review of Kirkland Special Bib, and they said that was also above what they thought it was going to be. Okay. Well, I will have to keep that in mind. Problem is, that's a Costco product, and I don't have Costco membership, so I will have to phone a friend for assistance on that. Let me try Old Forester Statesman. Yes, I have. Now, Old Forester Statesman, like, it's a cool story because, you know, it came out for the movie. What was it? What's the name of the movie? We all know the name of it. It doesn't matter. And so, you know, there was a lot of marketing around that and stuff. And I like the look of the bottle. It's very kind of, you know, old Western whiskey, all that good stuff. But I mean, it's not bad. It's just that for the price you're paying, I don't know if it drinks like a $55, $60 whiskey. I guess that's my personal take on Statesman. I think it's good. It's just that when you compare it to the other stuff in the Whiskey Row, like when you compare it to 1910 and 1920, I don't think it stands up very well to those, because those are really great bottles, and Statesman's just, it's good. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of underwhelming compared to those for the price. Whereas Kirkland, so I kind of answered that incidentally. Yeah, so that's a Costco product. So I believe that is Barton repackaged as Kirkland. Pretty sure. Little guys mark up stuff that is hard to find, but liquor store chains generally sell at retail. Whiskey prices don't seem to be going up nearly as much as everything else yet. Well, that's true. So, as I mentioned earlier, I work in construction, so we get to see, you know, the ever-changing prices of wood. Anything metal right now is ridiculous high, like copper piping, aluminum piping. If it has metal in it, it's just getting almost too high to buy. Like if you're putting in anything with copper piping right now, I feel bad for you, because you're going to be paying crazy amounts of money for it. Just unfair prices. Things are not looking up, that's for sure. Yeah, Costco, as Hanging AZ said on the Kirkland. That is okay. So yeah. I wish that you got more for your money, but I guess, you know, so you're getting 3 half-fifths in that pack, and I guess if you haven't had any of them, then it would be a pretty good buy. But by the time I saw that pack, I already had a couple Makers 46 at home, and I'd had regular Makers, you know, many times. So it didn't seem to make sense to me price-wise to buy it, because I'd basically just be buying it for a small FAE, and I don't know. But makes it for a cool gift for sure. Cool gift pack. English Spy movie. Yes, that's the one. I still can't. What is the name? All I can think is Statesman. I know that's not the name of the movie. My brain is stupid tonight. Elijah C. in North Carolina. Word on the street. Oh, okay. Yeah, and there was somebody in like Kansas. Who was that? Oh yeah, it was OJ for Hire. He was saying he saw, I think it was OJ for Hire that said he saw it in Kansas. C921. That's why God made PEX. Oh, yeah, talking about the copper. Yeah, but you know, even PEX has gone up, Commandante Lou. And also, thank you, Commandante Lou, for joining us 2 weeks in a row. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you for showing up. Yeah, so, and the thing is like, so we do a lot of plumbing and a lot of plumbing repair, because we're on top of, so we mainly do remodeling. That's primarily what me and my father do, but we also do maintenance at its assisted living home, and most of the people there are mentally ill, and so things get broken often. So we're doing plumbing repair way too frequently. And honestly, PEX is amazing. Like if you can replace something with PEX, do it. It's easier. Well, I can't say that it lasts longer, but it's much, much easier to work with. So do yourself a favor and use PEX if you can. Okay, 1920, 1910 or 1920. That's kind of a mood thing for me. Like I don't disagree with you. I would say most of the time I probably drink 1910 more. Just because, especially after a long day of work, I'm not always in the mood for essentially a barrel proof, which is, I mean, 1920 is basically a barrel proof. But I mean, there's times where I certainly prefer 1920. I think they're both excellent. I think it just is kind of depends on what mood you're in. But both of those are awesome bottles, underappreciated bottles by Old Forester. People need to stop chasing bullcrap from Buffalo Trace and get on the 1920, 1910 train and rare breed. Start stocking up on those. That's what we as whiskey drinkers, that's what we should be worried about with all these supply chain problems and stuff. If the grid starts falling apart and society starts collapsing, we need to have plenty of whiskey to deal with all that. By the way, peace, everyone. Are you out, Lou? You leaving us already? Is that what it means? I'm not sure. Or do you mean just like peace in general, as in stay peaceful? Just had a Whistle Pig. Well, let me go ahead and highlight that. Just had a Whistle Pig piggyback as a follow-up to Rendezvous. Man, life is great. I'd say, man. So now the piggyback. See, we had this discussion earlier. What is the piggyback? Is that kind of Whistle Pig's budget-ish one? Because that's the one I had, so I couldn't tell you. I feel like that's not the budget one. Do you sell propane and propane accessories? No, I wish. Man, you could be making a killing in propane right now. It's gone up something like 50% in the last couple of months. I just want to grill. Can I just grill? Got to pay out the nose just to grill these days. Thankfully, I have a smoker that doesn't rely on propane. But still annoying. Okay, so I guess Commandante Lou is still with us. Cool. Whistle Pig piggyback is good stuff. I'll have to take your word for it. I can't remember which one I had. 1910, hands down. Yeah. So just for anyone that doesn't know, if you haven't been here for the other streams, just know that Adam is a 1910 fanboy all the way. And who can blame him? Because that is a killer bottle. Thanks to me, that bottle got him into whiskey. And I think we can all understand why, because 1910 is phenomenal. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. 1910, 1920. I didn't really spell it out. So Old Forester's Whiskey Row line, Jack. So the 1910, all the bottles in front of me. One is like Prohibition style, and I forget what the other one is. But so 1910 is Old Forester's take on a double barreling. So very similar to like Woodford Double Oak or Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel or Michter's Toasted Barrel. So all those are double barreled products where, they put the bourbon in one barrel and then they put them in a second barrel that's also charred. And so you get more of the darker notes coming out of the barrel. And what Old Forester does that's kind of slightly different is the second barrel that they put it into is heavily charred. So you get lots of dark notes. And to me, it's awesome. Lots of dark fruit notes, lots of dark, rich caramels and brown sugars and kind of leathery notes. And you get kind of that sweet tobacco note. Good stuff. I don't smoke cigars, but if you did, I would imagine the 1910 goes amazing with a cigar. Anybody try Alberta Rye Cask Strength? I have not, but anybody else has, feel free to talk to Eric about it. I love Rare Breed. Yes, everyone should. Everyone should love Rare Breed. That bottle is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, really, the whole whiskey row is it worth at least buying, as Adam is saying here. The whole whiskey row line. Buy at least one bottle because each one's a little bit different. And I think they all do things well. I think Statesman is probably the most subdued. Well, I don't know. I can't remember what the 90 proof one is. Is that 70? 1870? 1870 or 1897. One of those two is the 90 proofer. And I would say either that or Statesman is the most subdued of the five. So if you want something lighter, I would go that way. I think it's 1897 is the Bottle and Bond version. That is great and overlooked. I would say that's probably my third favorite of the Whiskey Row, but they're all very good. They're all great bourbons. 1920 was up to 65 a bottle here. Got Rare Breed instead. Man, that is high. Yeah, I picked up a bottle of 1920 about 2 months ago for 55. So that is high for sure. Sorry to hear that, AZ. That sucks. Man, you have it right. Let's see here. Not sure what. Go to the next one. Justin Journal saying, okay, cool. Yes. Peace to everyone. I agree, Commandante Lou. We need more peace for sure, man. But yes, if the grids of bloodchain collapse, we all need a lot of whiskey. Yes. Stock up on the whiskey, folks. And food. Stock up on food. No, so I won't get political, but just like a PSA, I guess. I mean, so if you guys, for those not paying attention to the news, or if you are paying attention to the news, I'm just rehashing what you already heard. But I mean, in seriousness, we could have very big supply problems of products that we're used to getting easily in the near future. So just take care of yourselves. Stock up on food goods that will keep for a long time. Be smart. Put some money aside. Do things that will set you up to get through the storm, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Piggyback is the entry level of the whiskey. Okay, so I guess that is what I had, Jack. From my remembrance of it, now this was, like I said, this was nearly 2 years ago at a buddy's house. I thought it was good, just didn't really blow me away, I guess, but I guess that should be expected from kind of a entry level whiskey. You shouldn't expect an amazing experience every time. Okay, I'm out on the hunt for a 1910-20. Yes, for sure. So again, Jack, just depends on what you prefer. If you like a lot of rich, darker, fruitier, sweet tobacco, leather, lots of char notes, then 1910 for sure, but that is lower proof. So it's kind of a more laid back, easy sipping whiskey. But if you want a lot more spice and nearly barrel proof, but also great flavors, then 1920 is also excellent. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. It's just they're completely different experiences. So it's what you're in the mood for. But I cannot recommend either one of them nearly enough. They're both great. To me, those are both in the same kind of realm as like the Rare Breeds and stuff, just bottles that I don't think get talked about enough. I mean, there are certainly people that love them and talk about them a lot, but I think they get overlooked. Any bottle with a wild animal or cowboy on the label or has old in the title is usually money. Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think of any exceptions to that. You might be spot on there, AZ. I'd have to look through my collection and see there. Yeah, I'd say Well, no. So I guess there isn't a cowboy on the label, but that Jesse James bourbon, I'm talking about the budget stuff. That stuff's not great. And he was definitely a cowboy. But to be fair, there's not a cowboy on the label. So I guess your point still stands. Okay, love rare breed, but barely see the rare breed rye in Virginia. Oh, well, that sucks. Um, yeah, I don't know. The prices seems a little high on the rye. I mean, I guess rye is more expensive to make. That's always true. But I mean, just comparing it to the rare breed, generally around here, the rare breed rye is like 65 as compared to standard rare breed is like 45. So $20 markup for the rye, but it is good. I just wish it was a little cheaper, but I guess that's not terrible. Jack, you have more total lines. More okay. I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves. Can't hardly find rare breed rye in Virginia. Right. I went too far. Skipped over a bunch of comments. Go back up here. So yeah, so you mentioned that earlier. I'm going to have to keep a lookout for that. The Alberta CS. Thanks, Wizzy. So which will be next sip for the evening? Forgiven or Four Roses single barrel? What do you guys say? Now this is just me, Jack. I don't know if you were here earlier in the stream, but we tried this guy here, the Four Roses small batch. And I know that is a different bottle, but I was not impressed. And I've had the single barrel before, and maybe I just had a bad single barrel. I guess I'm just not a Four Roses fan. I know there's a lot of Four Roses fans out there, but it's not for me. But I'm also not familiar with the Forgiven, so hard for me to make a call on that. Old Crow, Old Granddad. Are you saying those as choices, Lou? Because if so, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You're going back to AZ's comment. I got you. Okay, buddy, quiet. So now, Lou, are you not now? When you say you don't like Old Granddad, you mean like across the board, or just like the baseline stuff? Because I think the bib is pretty good, and I think the 114 is good. But I would agree that the standard Old Granddad, not great. Let's see here. Four Roses single barrel. Eric Wright. Okay, so see, I'm in the minority. There are some Four Roses fans out there. We do have total wine. Avoid the old bottom shelf. Yeah. I dig the theme labels. Yeah. I'm trying to think of exceptions myself. I'm sure if I was down in my whiskey room, I could probably come up with some, but off the top of my head, I cannot. Right. Okay. Let's see here. You can probably find both of the OFs there at a decent price. Yeah, I would imagine so. That's the nice thing about Old Forester. They have pretty good distribution, so always good. And I'm telling you guys, check out the whole whiskey row. It's all good stuff. Okay, so Forgiven. Now, is that the brand name? Let me Google here. Forgiven. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I have seen this label. It's not springing to mind. I'm not remembering a bourbon named Forgiven. And my phone is being screwy. There we go. Now it's doing stuff. Yeah, as Adam said, you can get the Old Forester, the whole series, Kroger, all the time. Or Walmart's pretty good about carrying it if you have Walmart liquors near you. I'd imagine any of the big chain stores are going to carry the Old Forester Whiskey Row line. And they're going to keep them at MSRP. So also good. Forgiven Bourbon. Huh. Oh, this is a Wild Turkey product. What? Well, now you got me all messed up. I can't believe that there is a Wild Turkey that I've not heard of. I don't know if I've ever seen that. That is strange to me that I've never seen Forgiven from Wild Turkey. I'm curious if that is like a state-specific release because I've never seen it in Kentucky. I have a soft spot in my heart for Evan Williams Green Label in the plastic bottle. Hey, man, I think we all have those bottles. We all have those bottles, those budget bottles that we just love. And, they're easy to find. They're easy to buy because they're cheap. I get that. This is my guy right here, my Evan Williams bib, along the same lines. I can't even tell you how many of these I've drank. A lot. Way too many, probably. My liver would probably say I've drank too many. Four Roses is a very distinct taste, whichever it is. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's one of those that you love it or you hate it. Wild Turkey Forgiven Batch 303. See, like I looked at the bottles online. I'm almost positive I've never seen that, and that's troubling to me. I live in the state of Wild Turkey, and I've never seen that bottle. I always get this bit starstruck. Yeah, I'm with you, man. That's like if you're a whiskey lover, then Starstruck. Then Total Wine is like Toys R Us for adults. There's just you always wish you had more money. And I don't care how much money you have to spend when you go into Total Wine; it's never enough. You could have $1 million and still walk out of there broke. Only OF86 if you're lucky at our broke. That is disappointing, man. So they don't even have the standard Old Forester line. I figured every Kroger had 86, 100, and the rye. I mean, every Kroger I've ever been to has those three. Kentucky Kroger is bawling. I guess we are. Who knew? Who knew the Kentucky Kroger is bawling? I would have never described it that way, but now I know. I know how lucky we are. All right, so let's rehash here. So what are we sipping on? I'm going to ask again. I kind of asked this earlier in the stream. So I am on some FAE-02 from Makers, which I said earlier is very Makers 46 cast strength, rebottled, I'm pretty sure. But it's still good. What's everybody else sipping on, though? And I see we got 7 watching, so that's cool. Yeah, so specs is not something we have in Kentucky. At least I have not seen one. There might be parts of Kentucky where there's specs, but I have yet to see one. But Total Wine, man, that place. Now, do you guys have Liquor Barns out your way? And I know that is such a Kentucky name. I'll give it to you. Like, where else could a liquor barn exist other than Kentucky? But I'm wondering if they are in other states, because if I can't find a Total Wine, usually my go-to is a Liquor Barn. Liquor Barn is awesome. And Liquor Barn has some great store picks. I would say probably 2/3 of the store picks I have downstairs are from Liquor Barn. And they know what they're doing. They have some excellent store picks. I'm on a glass of ginger ale. Big hike in the morning. Oh, okay. Hey, I get that, man. I actually probably should stop drinking after this glass. Should. Consider yourselves lucky to even be able to buy whiskey at the. Oh, yes. So you're in one of those counties in Texas. Now, correct me, still living in the woods, because I believe there's parts of Texas that you can buy whiskey at a liquor store, or is that statewide? Maybe I'm wrong on that. But it seems like that's a county by county basis, but maybe I'm wrong. Y'all don't have specs, but you do have hella distilleries. Yeah, that's true. The thing is, though, is that like the distilleries are not the best place to get stuff. And I know that sounds backwards, but usually, like for instance, like if you go to Buffalo Trace thinking you're going to get all the bottles that you've been searching for, it's not going to happen. Generally, they have 2 to 3 different bottles available each day, and they rotate them. And it's announced the morning that you get there, and that's all they're going to have. And a lot of times it'll be pretty standard stuff. Like so that like their standard selection will be like Buffalo Trace, maybe Eagle Rare, and then like Benchmark, or if you're lucky, it'll have E.H. Taylor. But sometimes it's just 2 bottles. So yeah, unfortunately around here, even though the tours and all that stuff are great and the tastings are really nice, going to a distillery is not a sure thing that you're going to get killer bottles, sadly. How to go to Total Wine and find OF 100, Evan Williams Bib, and Rare Breed. Oh, okay. Well, I'm telling you, man, your Kroger needs to step it up. Come on, Kroger. What are you doing? Texas is specs country. Okay. No Liquor Barn here. Fancy is pushing with Total Wine. Arizona has drive-through liquor stores. We do too here in Kentucky. That was when I moved from Florida, that was a new thing because that was not a thing in Florida. I never saw a drive-through liquor store until I came to Kentucky, and then I was like, oh wow, that is awesome. Why isn't this everywhere? But I would say there's some obvious reasons why it isn't everywhere. It seems like it should be nowhere, if I'm honest. It seems like it's a bad combination of things, drive-through liquor stores. But, whatever. Hey, it's convenient. Only in liquor stores statewide. Oh, okay, so it is statewide. It's not county by county. Well, that sucks. So that means all of your Walmarts and Krogers and et cetera have nothing. Disappointing. So what is your kind of MSRP go-to store then? I know you mentioned Spec, so is that the go-to MSRP place in Texas there, still living in the woods? My favorite store in northern Arizona, Ruff's Drive-Through Liquor. Now that's a hell of a combination. I like it. That is such an Arizona. Like, I'm surprised we don't have one of those in Kentucky, if I'm honest, because that's like a Kentucky state of mind right there. You get your liquor and your guns in the drive-through. So, excuse me. Ugh. Didn't quite swallow that whiskey right. That burned a little. So, everybody talks about, and I'm sure we have a Texan in the chat here, still living in the woods. Everybody always talks about how crazy and free Texas is, but we had open carry before Texas, and we had Kentucky has not required a permit for open carry for like 2 years, which, personally, well, I'm not going to get into the politics, but I'm just going to say that has been a thing. So telling you, Kentuckians are all about the freedoms. I'm surprised we don't have drive-through liquor and gun stores combined. Our Kroger wastes shelf space with flavored whiskey. That's always disappointing. Yeah, we have a lot of space taken up by that as well. It irritates me. It also irritates me that I don't have to review them, but you know, it's kind of one of those kind of joke reviews that you have to do just because there's such a big part of the community that actually drinks the stuff. I don't understand it, but a lot of people like flavored whiskey. Not at all. There's always a liquor store on the side. Now I'm trying to back up here. I'm sorry, Lou. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's funny to me how much things vary across the states. Uh, you know, maybe someday we'll get unified. Probably not. You know, that's a good night. I can't think of a better night than buying some ammo and some beer. That sounds to me like you're about to have a killer night. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you fall on your political stance. If you got a couple boxes of ammo and some beer, you are about to have a killer night. Specs and Longhorn Liquor are my go-to chains. Okay, I have a bunch of points on their key cards. Oh, cool. So they do points. I always like stores that do points because it benefits customers that are repeat customers, and I think that's something that should be rewarded. Who the hell is playing Screwball? You know, so that's another one that we're gonna have to get to on the reviews here at some point. Like the thing is, I like peanut butter. I just don't know how much I want it in my whiskey. I think those need to be separate. Like even whiskeys that have like too much nuttiness on the profile kind of turns me off. I don't mind it a little bit, but there are certain Jim Beam products that are very nut forward. And yeah, it's too much. So I don't know how I'm going to like a peanut flavored whiskey, but we'll see. I'll screw off my wife. She loves that kind of crap. Yeah, well, the ladies always do. My wife likes Fireball and Southern Comfort, but we're working on her. You know, it's a process. She's getting better. I hope not. I don't want any unification amongst the state. I just want to be in Texas. And now, coming down to you, Lou, am I correct in saying that you're in Cali? I assume that because I met you on Charles' stream, but maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm telling you, though, guys, I know everybody thinks that Texas is the state of freedom, and it certainly is. But Kentucky, we are not shy about pushing for our freedoms. Flavored stuff is for the party goers living their youth by trial and error. I was one of them at a point. Yep. I can't say that I was. I mean, I'm not trying to like be all douchey, braggy guy, but I've always drank whiskey neat. That's just how I've always preferred it. And I've never, I mean, I've never liked super sweet drinks, even when I was young. Like I never cared for soda, even when I was young. So I guess that's why flavored whiskey never really appealed to me. I mean, I've had plenty of it, but it was never the thing that I ever went to. Like I always got pissed off when you find the jackass that kind of starts shouting at the party. That's like, oh, let's do fireball shots. That's kind of when I'm about to check out, when that kind of nonsense starts happening. Even when I was young, that's not what I want to do. Buddy that works next to me loves that sugary shit. Okay, yeah. There's a lot of them, a lot of lovers of that stuff. Whiskey flavored whiskey. How about that? Yes, that's my favorite flavor of whiskey is whiskey flavored whiskey. Gas station down the highway sells guns, ammo, meat, and beer. And there is a little liquor store next door in the same building. Only in Texas. Let's get it done. I like it. All the things you need in one stop. Hanging AZ, speaking my language. Yes. for sure. Whiskey flavored whiskey. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Commandante Lou. I apologize for insulting you. My bad, man. Yeah, I guess I should not have assumed that. To a Texan, that is certainly an insult. I apologize. That is my bad. Yeah, I don't know. So I used to be in the other big Gulf Coast state. I moved from Florida. I wouldn't move back. Now I'm sure that there are parts of Florida and parts of Texas that I'd be happy in, but I like being really far away from people, and I can do that here more easily, I guess. Texas is awesome until you hit Austin, but damn, the barbecue is good. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Texas barbecue, like world renowned. That's all. My goal when I'm making barbecue is to copy Texas style barbecue. That's always the profile I'm after. Yeah. So the thing is right now, Kentucky is in the midst of major changes. Well, tried changes because of political changes. I'll just leave it at that. Buddy, no. Try to make a peanut butter and jelly and peanut butter cup with Screwball. Okay, yeah. Well, that sounds like the thing that Screwball should go with. Not drank straight by any means. I like to taste the booze. Doesn't sneak up on you. Trying to think what you're talking about there, AZ. I'm guessing we're still talking about the. Oh yeah. I guess you. Yeah. Don't drink the flavored stuff because it will sneak up on you. I get what you're saying there. Yeah, Austin, from all reports I've heard, and I guess you guys are just confirming, has become Little California. So I moved from what we used to call Little Puerto Rico, otherwise known as Kissimmee, Florida. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, I'll leave it alone. I'm just gonna back out of that conversation. We could have a long conversation about all those kind of things, but I'm gonna leave it alone and talk about whiskey. Keep Texas free. Might have to make a run from Arizona one day. Well, so how are things in Arizona there, AZ? I feel like you guys kind of buck the system a little bit. You seem to be maintaining your freedoms fairly well. Speaking about ammo, Jack, I am going to the range in the morning to test some new waterfowl loads. I reload this. Okay, cool. So waterfowl is not something I've ever gotten into. I think it has to do with my lack of patience and also my laziness. I like cleaning one big animal and being done. But I would probably enjoy it, mainly because I enjoy shotguns. I just haven't taken the time to really study it and go out and do it. Yeah, you have to stay out of the cities, no matter what state. Every state is cool if you live in the boonies. For sure, man. Thus your name, I would assume. Yeah, so I live in a county. Now, I live in town, but saying that doesn't really... So I live in a county that has 20,000 people in the whole county. And I love it here. Your neighbors are cool. They're actually the kind of neighbors that you wish you had. They're always willing to help. I have awesome neighbors. Actually, my other neighbor, so you've already met one neighbor, but my neighbor to the left of me just gave me like 5 pounds of bear meat last weekend. So that was awesome. Yeah, awesome neighbors in little towns. There are still amazing humans around. Best meal I ever had, Texan fried smoked a pork butt, and then we made enchiladas with the meat. That sounds fantastic. I mean, pork butt and enchiladas is always great. AZ is changing a bit with all the Californians moving here and voting for crap they left. Should we get into it? Let's get into it, boys. You keep pushing me. So I feel like we're in a good group here, so I hope I don't offend anybody. You know, it's amazing to me, human behavior. So, well, as AZ just said, and others have kind of alluded to, and we've kind of been talking about all night, just off and on, is that people will leave a place because they don't like the way things are going, and then they will vote for the people that are going to institute those same laws and stipulations, politics, whatever word you want to put in there, that will lead to the same things they left. I just cannot believe the stupidity of humans. It's like, how do you not figure out that this is what you were trying to avoid, and now you're voting for the same bullcrap? Hey, what's up, stepson? Join the stream. Sup, Florida sucks, for sure. You know, so, but what's interesting to me is that, let me read a couple of these and I'll get back to my rant. I plus on, okay, yeah. Gotcha, Jack. Switch from David Nicholson to Axe Handle Bourbon. Another one I'm not familiar with, but enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it, Eric. I was stationed in California for 9 years and 3 years in Hawaii. I hated both places. Hawaii was worse than California. Well, I have to imagine so, because islands are always crazy expensive. And I don't know anything about Hawaii politics-wise, but I could probably guess. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. Boys and girls, whoever's out there listening, I can't understand people that are doing the things they're doing right now. It's weird to me. And since we're going to talk about politics, I'm going to pour something stout. Let's get into this B521 larceny. So just a general question to everybody in the stream. What do you think? Do you think we can turn this thing around? Do you think that any amount of voting is going to fix anything? What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Do you think that this ship can be saved? Because, gotta say, I don't see the humans fixing their problems. I see more and more problems and them getting more and more complex and people dividing. And it seems like, to me, that the powers that be across the board are out for self-interest. And I don't think any amount of voting is going to turn that around. That's my personal take. But you know, for any of those that have watched other streams of mine, you know that my faith isn't in humans. So I'm not going to get preachy on you guys, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. SD was okay, but there was a love-hate relationship there. Yeah, that's the thing, is that there's so many beautiful places that have been ruined by politics and what the local governments allow to happen. Because, I mean, San Diego is a beautiful area on Earth if you just, took all the humans out of there. It's just, you know, as my son said, yeah, we're not doing great, folks. We're not doing great. Take care of yourselves. I'll say that. Be smart. Prepare yourselves. Buy food sources that'll last a long time. Yeah. Prepare your family. I think we have some hard times ahead of us, but it will get worse before it gets better, but it will happen. Well, I would definitely agree with most of that, Lou. I don't know that it will Lou, I'm sorry, Jack. I don't know that it will happen, but I definitely think it will get worse before it gets better. I would definitely agree with that part of the statement. And because of that, I think anybody that's intelligent should be very prepared for whatever is coming. And invest in things that are intelligent. Invest in things that will keep your family alive. We can all talk about how many guns you have and bullets and stuff, but you can only shoot one at a time. And each family member could shoot one at a time. But if you don't have any food and you don't have any water, then it doesn't matter how many guns you have. So invest smartly. And just for the record, I am pro-gun, but I think some people focus way too much on guns and not on the other things that you definitely need. Has to start the poll. I think I know what you're talking about, Eric. It don't look good. I have a bad feeling about the next decade or so. I would agree. Still living in the woods. I think the biggest problem, to me anyway, is not so much the short-term problems we're having right now with like supply chains and things like that, although that's certainly a problem. But I think the biggest problem we have is that we're getting away from truth. We're muddying the waters so much that we can't even have intelligent discussions anymore because there is no truth to a lot of people. So you can't have discussions about things. Either that or the conversation is shut down because it's racist or bigoted or whatever reason there is to shut down the conversation. So, and if you can't have discourse in your society, then you can't solve problems, and so they just keep getting worse. Well, yeah. So here's my thing, Eric. I try and think about how things would actually go down in a situation. And when, we all like to think that we're this like badass Rambo guy that's going to take out everybody that comes into our home. But at a certain point, the numbers become overwhelming. It doesn't matter who you are and how prepared you are. There's a certain point where, it's complete SHTF situation and it's unsustainable to try and deal with the numbers of people that might be coming at you. So I think it's wiser at a certain point, even though if you can huddle in place or whatever you want to call it, then that's great. But at a certain point, that may not be wise. And so I think you need to have multiple locations set up that you can hide out, hibernate, whatever. I think there's a lot of things that need to be considered more than just having stockpiles of ammo. I think that certainly has its place. I don't want to downplay that. But I think that we need to be smarter than just saying, if I have enough guns and ammo, that I can survive any storm. I don't think that that's enough. Are you going to get a B channel? So I have considered it. And because these are the kind of discussions I like to have. It's the things that I read a lot about, things I've studied a lot. I don't know if I'm knowledgeable enough to start a channel. I feel like you need to have a lot of knowledge and have a lot of insight to be giving really solid advice, because it's when you're talking about people's lives and how they should go about preparing, I don't think that's something you should take lightly. So I think you need to be really informed if you're going to give advice. So I don't know if I'm at a place yet where I could be giving advice to the masses, I guess is. But I think with it, everyone should do everything they can to prepare. Yes. My stepson loves my dog probably more than I do. My dog is my buddy, though. Maybe your truth is wrong. Well, so that's certainly an argument, you know. That so here's my thought on truth. Now, I'm not saying that my truth is correct, but the thing about truth, at least in my mind, is that it is exclusive. Truth is a singular thing. Me and Charles from Fun with Whiskey, which by the way, guys, if you aren't sub there, please sub over at Charles' channel. He's a great guy, and we do streams together. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight. We were talking throughout the day, but he had a lot going on, so he couldn't make it on tonight. But we switch back and forth hosting streams for those that don't know. So definitely sub over there if you can, because and also he's putting out some great reviews. So yeah, Charles is a good guy, and me and Charles have great discussions like this all the time. And Charles has a lot of insight into things. He's a smart guy. He's well read. He's studied a lot of things. So I always appreciate his insight into things. So. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Truth, by definition, is singular. You cannot have multiple truths. So 2 + 2 is 4. 2 + 2 can't also be 5. There's only one truth statement there, and to me, that's how truth works. I know that our society is getting away from that kind of idea of these kind of foundational truths. They don't like that, but yeah, I think we need to get back to that. I'd sub to my preparing channel. You're tempting me. Still living in the woods. Yeah, me too. I mean, I probably spend more time watching prep channels than about anything else other than whiskey. That's about those two things is what I spend most of my time doing. One is for fun, and the other I think is fundamental to life and keeping your family safe. I just took a stray pug, weird animal. They certainly are. They're cute, but I feel bad for them. The poor little guys have been bred to the point where they can't hardly even breathe on their own anymore. It's kind of sad. They're kind of pitiful little things, but they're cute. So, yes, what Eric said. So some other things to think about, guys. That now if you're prepper mindset, then I'm just reiterating what you guys already know. But some things that get looked over very often. Obviously water. You need if you don't have stockpiles of water, then you need to have a way to get it efficiently and quickly, because continually making fires to boil water in an SHTF situation is not sustainable. Eventually, people will see your fires, and if they're after what you have, you'll be dead. It's not so you need ways to get water quickly. I have tons and tons of life straws and devices that are similar to that. Invest in good ones so you don't get sick. Then all you need is any body of water, and you can, if you invest in good life, I say life straw is just kind of a generality, but there are better products than life straws, because then all you need is a body of water and you can drink water. But then also salt. Invest in salt. It's good for years and years and years, and it can preserve your food. It can clean wounds. Lots and lots of uses for salt. You can use it to can foods in the future. You're going to need salt. You don't realize how much you need salt until you don't have it. Obviously, any kind of antiseptic, keep those on hand all the time. Keep a lot of them. In our house, we are stockpiled with rubbing alcohol, peroxide, iodine. Keep a variety because you don't know what you're going to need, and always good to have. I know I'm kind of ranting a little bit here. Let me get back to bourbon. About bourbon, I have a Larceny Barrel Proof. How does it compare to Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs? So I would say it is slightly different because it is a weeder. I would say the main differences for me, and you'll see in the review, Eric, if you haven't watched it yet, is that it's a little more fruity. But when I say fruity, I mean dark fruits. I would say what I appreciate about both Elijah Craig Barrel Proof and Larceny Barrel Proof is that Heaven Hill does a really nice job of, when they're doing their blending, they focus on the darker notes in bourbon. And that's what kind of draws me to bourbon, is those darker notes. And so that's why I like standard Larceny, is that it's more of the darker notes that when they're doing their blending, that's what they really focus on. And that's true of the Barrel Proof as well. So it is more fruit forward. You're getting more like plum, kind of roasted dates, maybe even kind of like it seemed, I'm trying to remember the whiskey is affecting. It seems like I described Larceny Barrel Proof as like a mixed berry jam, or maybe that was Cooper's Craft. But anyway, there's a lot of kind of berry notes in there, but they're the darker berries, not the bright, like lighter fruits, not like citrus. But yeah, I really enjoy it. In fact, I poured some and I haven't drank any yet. So here we go. So I'll rehash because the review's already out. Now, my palate is not perfect right now because this is my 5th whiskey of the night, and it's late in the night, so take that into consideration. But so then I got lots of nice caramel, very nice brown sugar note, and like a really rich caramel, not like a light caramel, but like a nice quality caramel, like you'd get in a high quality, like in, I'm trying to think, like something like a Lindt chocolate that's filled with like high quality caramel, something like that. And you're getting like kind of that chocolatey note. There's kind of like a strawberry in there, kind of a plum, a little bit of like a roasted date. Also kind of like that sweet tobacco note that I really like, and maybe just hints of leather. And there's a lot of char presence, which I like. Some people don't like that, but there's quite a bit of char presence. But I think that's true in Elijah Craig Barrel Proof as well. So I would say the differences for me is that the Larceny is a little more fruit forward, but it's the darker fruits. So that's my comparison, just kind of off the cuff here, late into the night. So my palate's not perfect, but that's my breakdown right now. Oh, hey, that is cool. Yeah. If you have the money to invest in a well on your property, that is invaluable in an SHTF situation. Then you always have water, as long as you can continue to supply electric to it, which there's plenty of ways to do that. Generators. So if you live in a situation where you have streams of water and you also have a well, then you can set up turbines to run your generator, which runs your well, and then you always have water forever. Something to think about if that's a situation that you can take advantage of. Or you could have good weapons and take the water. Well, here's the thing, Lou. Now, I agree that that's true. But I think realistically, I don't know in long-term situations. I mean, here's my thing, is that you have to be the best person on the field every time and never be in a situation where you're at a disadvantage. Because if you're at a disadvantage one time and one guy gets the lucky shot off on you because he was behind you or on your blind side, then it's over. So I don't know if continuous confrontation is the best way to procure resources. I think it's certainly a way to get resources, but I don't know if continually doing that is the best method. But to each their own. Got to be well-rounded when it comes to prepping. Have a freezer full of meat. Yes, definitely. Need to know how you can get, when, am I reading this wrong? Need to know when that thing goes down. Okay, yeah. Learning to sew, important, not just for clothes, but also for stitching yourself up. Lots of uses. You can make canopies, tarps, shelters. Learn to sew. Yeah, vitamins, especially. So, I mean, there's so many products on the market now. You can get supplements that will just keep you alive. I mean, they're essentially just very potent multivitamins. So if you have nothing else to eat, it will get you the basic nutrients you need for your body to keep going, so you don't start cramping up and feeling all the symptoms of malnutrition as quickly. So yeah, I agree, Commandante Lou. Certainly do that, because as you know, as you're drinking water, especially if you're moving around a lot and you're sweating out, you're going to lose minerals, and then life will start sucking for you if you do not have ways to replace that. Stock up on vitamin D. Yeah, I mean, especially right now. So I would say probably most of the folks in this stream, based on who you are, you're probably in the know, but also vitamin D is an essential nutrient or mineral, whichever the thing it is, to combat symptoms of COVID-19. It's been proven time and time again. If you haven't seen the research on it, then please investigate yourself. Don't just take my word for it. But vitamin D helps people deal with COVID symptoms. So on top of it being essential in daily life, just another side note. Not just that, but your body needs sodium for hydration. Yes. How do you expect to function when your muscles are cramping from dehydration? Salt is actually healthy for you, but not how Americans use it. True. And have a variety of salts. I didn't mention that earlier, because different salts have different stuff in them. Sometimes you need iodized salt, sometimes you don't. So having a variety of salts is good. Sweet tobacco. Oh yes, back to my tasting notes. Yeah, always love that note in a bourbon. For those curious mind, I had Forgiven as my last sip. I have more of it than the Four Roses single barrel. Man, so much different flavor. My straight rise, love it. Okay, so Jack, I gotta find that Forgiven. I am disturbed that I have never seen this. I can't believe there's a turkey product that I've never seen. Kind of pissed off about it, if I'm honest. I like the leathers and tobacco flavors in my whiskey. Me too, man. Some of my favorites. Okay, that's fair. Still living in the woods. Now, okay, so essentially that's like a spring then, correct? I wasn't familiar with the term, so forgive my ignorance. Yeah, Commandante Lou is Mad Max for sure. No doubt about it. Okay, thanks for the info. Like the extra charred bourbon and scotches. Yes, for sure. It's first strike, but I don't think it's a long-term solution. Yeah. Now, Lou, we could get into all the different reasons why that's not my approach, but a lot of it has to do with just my belief system. But also, like you said, I don't, and as I said earlier, I don't think, I think that it has its place for sure, especially if you are comfortable with that. But yeah, I don't think that long term it's workable. I think eventually you're going to run into a situation where you're unfortunately outnumbered, and then it's all over. Know how to hunt and fish bags of rice and beans. Yep. I mean, honestly, dried rice and beans keep for a long, long time, especially if you keep them in the right conditions, and it will keep you alive for a long, long time. It's not fancy. It's boring. You're probably going to get tired of it, but it will keep you and your family alive. That is for sure. Thousands of years of people have lived on rice and beans because that's all they had. Meat was not plentiful. I mean, just look at the kind of South America and Central America cultures. Rice and beans were staples for a reason. So learn from our ancestors. Definitely better to foster positive relationships with your neighbors. That's 100. Yep. Definitely agree. Form alliances. This isn't Survivor, but get in, go with your neighbors, and form real relationships, not just fake ones. Share your meat, share the meat you get, share whatever you got. Build a community. You'll be better off for sure. I mean, my personal thought is that the less you can rely on this government, and the less it means to you, and the less you move that out of your life, the happier you will be long term, the better your life will be, and the better you'll be set up to sustain yourself. If you're waiting for this government to fix your lives, not going to go good for you, I don't think. Oh yeah, vitamin D for sure. Now, see, for me, that's not a huge thing because I work outside so much, but most people do not. And so, yeah, get your vitamin D, folks. You need it. All right, gents, I have to cut out range time in the morning. Yeah, cool chat. Hope to catch you guys again. Look forward to the next review. Thank you, Jack. As I said, if you didn't catch it yet, the Larceny B521 review is out for those who have not seen it yet. Jack, thank you so much for coming by. Appreciate everybody that's come in tonight. Lots of new faces, so I really appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed the conversation. We try and keep it mostly positive here and upbuilding and, you know, inform folks of maybe things they didn't know and share knowledge. I appreciate all your guys' comments as well. Appreciate the chat amongst you guys as well, sharing stuff. Love to see that. Love to see kind of the community building good stuff. Yeah, as my stepson is pointing out, I probably need to cut out here myself because somebody has been crying the whole time. Yes, he has. He's been crying the whole time. It's this guy. He's been crying the whole time. Been crying the whole time. Been crying for like 3 hours straight because he hasn't got no attention. So I think I will probably wrap up myself because I also need to be up fairly early in the morning. I don't have to be at the range, but I have other things to do. Plus, I probably need to stop drinking whiskey. It is like midnight. Probably time to switch to water and sober up. So with that, I will say thank you everybody that came in tonight. Hanging AZ, Commandante Lou, Jack, Still Living in the Woods, Suicidal Pancake. Thank you, son, for stopping in. I'm probably forgetting people. I know Mike 44 was here earlier. Eric Wright. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate all the new faces. So thank you guys so much. You guys made the stream awesome. And you guys take care of yourselves. Keep it together till next time. Yes, and this right here, man. This is what I'm setting up for tomorrow. I'm going to shoot some arrows, make sure I'm dialed in, and hopefully get a deer tomorrow night. We will see how it goes. You know, sometimes they don't like hanging out with you. So hopefully one swings by and says hello. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, everybody, thank you. You folks have a good evening. And until next time, take care of each other and be good. We'll see you guys.